Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Miles David. I'm back casting Sophomore here because the one of our casters had was unavailable. So here I am. I'm casting here with Wee Wizards. How are you doing there, buddy?
Doing pretty good. I'm excited to get into these two teams.
Yeah,
On the blue side, we've got Zenigma. On the red side, we've got Hades for the first round. And I'm pretty excited. These two teams have both performed pretty well so far. And I'm looking forward to how their compositions are going to come out.
yeah, same honestly. Because well have you been watching these two teams so far in Sophomore? Because I haven't been catching up with them. All I know is right now, Zenigma, they're kind of 2 and 4 in the standings. While Hades they're like, or rather 1 and 3, and Hades are like 2 and 2 when it comes to series. So kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel here for these two teams. So both of them will definitely want a win, especially since this week 5. Regular season ends at week 7, and you want to increase your chances to get that to maybe somehow reach for playoffs, right?
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I'm in the same boat as you because I usually cash for freshmen. So we're both a
Oh,
little bit in the deep end on this one in terms of the specific teams. But we do have, they're obviously they're trying to get into the playoffs. There's so much time remaining, and if you have been losing a couple of games, you really gotta snag those wins, which both of these teams are going to be trying to do.
oh yeah, definitely. All right. So since we can't really talk about these teams and their styles, I mean, I've casted Sir Hirsch before, back then along with Icaros, last semester. But I'm assuming that things have changed now after some time working together with some new people in the team, and maybe their playstyle still has changed. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with to kind of turn their fortunes around for both these squads. For the side of Hades, of course, they'll want to make sure that they're getting the win here just to just to confirm that they're probably reaching playoffs with a positive scoreline. But we'll still see. There are lots of teams in Sophomore, and tiebreakers might end up being the name of the game between all these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious. Do you know if Vex is enabled? I'm not sure what the particular
Not
rules
yet,
are.
I believe. Not yet.
Not yet.
Because
Oh,
Vex
okay.
it's a 2-week cooldown before Vex is enabled, so I don't have to learn their moves
Ah,
yet until next week.
that's
It's
unfortunate.
fine. We're good. We're good.
Um, yeah, I mean, I've been watching Vex in solo queue and flex and things like that, and that champion looks really, really fun, especially in coordinated play. I always thought it was funny how a champion that's supposed to counter dashes, has one of the longest dashes in the game on her ultimate.
Mhm.
Um, so she's dashing around the place on her own.
Yeah,
You
it's
need like a
interesting.
poppy just to cancel that out, except she's unstoppable. Anyway, so in these
It's
in
like
these
it's like it's
drafts,
like you're caught between the unstoppable force and the immovable
yeah, yeah,
object, and it's Poppy and the Vex meet
yeah.
up apparently. So
Vex,
those are the kind of interactions we're looking forward to seeing. Always some new fun interactions that happen when these new champions turn up. But until uh until then, we're not gonna be seeing Vex. Instead, we're gonna be seeing some of the old guys on
yeah,
Summoner's Rift, and there have been a lot. There have been quite a few new champions that are popping up with all the buffs that Riot has given recently.
yeah, absolutely. And of course, there's still the the favorites, that are going around, things like Jarvis.
Mm,
And I believe Jinzhao is still pretty popular all around.
yeah, yeah,
Especially the champions got buffed recently, like Mordekaiser is E cooldown, severely reduced early game. I think Aatrox as well has been seeing a little bit more play.
yep,
So
yep.
definitely spiced up the meta just a little bit, which you love to see.
Oh
And
yeah, definitely.
hopefully we're gonna
Especially,
be seeing some new picks, or at least some like less popular picks, right? I don't know
I,
because I
I
think in
mean, we could
particular
be.
the jungle
We could.
metas have been pretty stale.
I mean, yeah, kind of. We've basically during the last few months, we've been seeing basically Xin Shao conquer everyone. So having some
Yeah,
new jungle champions into the meta sounds good. I mean, at this level, we're at sophomore. We're not really in the diamond level. We're not really on the masters level. So But a lot of teams here like to focus on comfort, like the champions that they want, that they think they're good at in order to succeed. And I think that's really good for them because, why play a meta champ if you're not really familiar with how to play it or how to be good with it. Instead, you can just focus on a champ that you're good at and win through that. Sometimes you got to keep things simple. But we do have our draft already here, Wizard. So we've got a few bands already going place. There we go. Mordekaiser, as you said, getting taken out of the field. Aurelia as well. Both kind of strong picks as of late. The set being removed could be a bit of a surprise, but he's been proven to be a very effective blind pick top laner.
Yeah, these bans are coming in pretty rapid fire. We do see some top-centered bans from the side of Hades, and as well as possibly mid or top-oriented with the Aurelia and the Kiana. And of course, the Ezreal banned out because everyone's favorite Q spamming explorer
I believe
can be
Kiana.
pretty strong.
I believe Kiana is targeted towards the jungle now because Kiana jungle just got a lot stronger, and looks like we do have our first pick go. Yeah. We didn't mention the Mumu, but yeah, the fact that he has two bandage tosses now makes him one of the most effective engaged supports in the entire game. So he's a super high priority pick at the moment. We'll see how that turns out later in the patch, but yeah, abuse it. Guys, if you're playing solo queue, use a Mumu. You'll win lane. I've seen it happen time and time again in competitive play. You don't,
especially once you get level 6,
it's not hard to pick, right? And it's not hard to coordinate. Once the ADC sees that, they're stunned. All right, we're going in, boys. Let's go.
I mean, how do you outplay like 5 seconds of consistent CC, right?
Yeah,
it's just
outplay this.
Outplayed, yeah. But it could be flex jungle. We can't quite know just yet, right? That could be, Galio support, perhaps, especially paired with Azaya. Lots of flexibility in this bot lane, right? It could be Mumu jungle, Galio mid. They could, be saving support even. But into the Seraphine, I think the Galio or Mumu would both be pretty solid picks. And Zaya's been buffed a lot recently. I think her ult cooldown's gone down like 20 seconds over a couple patches. She had a couple Q damage increases. And oh my god, is that Warwick top?
That has to be Warwick top. Okay, bring out a bit of cheese. Here is OMT.
I mean,
so...
it could be Jarvan top. It could. I've played Jarvan top. It's not bad. It's pretty decent actually. But I think still most likely gonna be Warwick top.
I mean, originally Jarvan was supposed to be a top laner, not a jungle, before people realized that the EQ combo was just, the flag and drag was just really good for ganking. So Jarvan, I'm assuming this is going to be Jarvan jungle and Warwick top, which is, in that case, it would be a switch of roles from historic historic data rather, right? Because Warwick has always been like the quote unquote noob jungle champ. He's like usually the first champion you use when picking up the jungle. Already the bans are they're just going through it. Apparently they discussed this.
These teams are confident. These bans.
Both teams studied each
fast.
other apparently. Yeah, both teams just studied each other apparently. OMT, they decided to ban away the Lucian, again a stronger pick due to the buffs Lucian received in the bot lane, where he gets stronger if there's an ally nearby him. So it's been pretty oppressive recently, especially in solo queue. So taking that out, the Malzahar, interesting stuff. I think I've seen Icarus use it before last semester. So makes sense. The Gragas, what do you think about that one, Wizard?
I'm not sure who they're targeting that towards, right? Because you have the jungler. The jungler's picked out, Jarvan 4 and Warwick, and you have the support, most likely Seraphine, already picked out. So I'm not sure who or where they think the Gragas would go. But maybe one of these players is like a Gragas one trick, and I'm not familiar with them.
Sorry about our lack of preparation, guys, but this was kind of last minute that we had to fill in. So we're just gonna do our best. And Kog'Maw getting picked up with Malphite getting picked up as well. You'd assume that Malphite is probably gonna go towards the top lane, in which case, the classic. It's the classic. Wait, who's the jungler then? Is this a Mumu jungle? Oh wait, you're right. It probably is a Mumu jungle then. I don't see Galio being the jungler.
Yeah, most likely Galio support, a Mumu jungle. I mean, a Mumu is still really good jungle. I mean, as a top laner, I can gank by a Mumu with double bandage toss, and it's just dumb, to put it frankly. I mean, he can miss the first one, and then, he just has another one 3 seconds, and then you're still CC'd. So, what? Okay,
These are some really interesting
okay,
picks. So
okay. Karthus mid? Question mark.
this is the
Jarvan
old school
Jarvan
tech,
mid.
man. This is some old school
We're
tech
gonna
we
have to
have
get
here.
into Jav Select before we see where exactly these picks are going.
Yeah, Wizard. These
Um,
are some really old school tech right here. If that's Karthus mid, oh man, that's like some
but
season
okay,
two.
but this is why I like casting for not high elo, because you never see this stuff in Masters, right? If you're casting Diamond Masters, they never do these weird comps. You're never gonna get Karthus mid, or Warwick top like that. That's just, it just doesn't
I
happen.
mean, and you barely
So
get Karthus jungle. Let's be real.
exactly, right? The Karthus pick
Elo,
in general
that's
is
his most that's his most optimized role at the moment. So
yeah.
yeah, definitely interesting. Now the thing about these two, like looking at these two, forgetting about the roles for a second. Looking at these two team comps in general, Wizard. What do you think?
I mean, okay, the first thing that comes to mind, like, just look at Zenigma's comp.
Mhm.
Look at the crowd control they have. Like, oh my
Oh.
god. Like, okay, you have a Mumu, the Mumu, the bandage toss, then you have the ultimate, then you have the Galio, right,
Yeah.
with the heroics entrance. You have the Malphite,
Mhm.
the unstoppable force, combo that with
Mhm.
the Yasuo. How do you survive that if you're Hades? Like, I feel like that just 100-0 wombo combo, like it's just, there's so little counterplay, right? Especially if you're in the tight corridors of the jungle.
Yeah.
You're trying to get this dragon, then all of a sudden, a Mumu around the corner, Galio, heroic entrance, Malphite, Unstoppable Force, Yasuo. Like, it's just, it piles on and it doesn't relent for like 10 seconds of
Yeah, I
consistent
mean,
CC and damage.
yeah, I mean, when you look at Zenigma's comp, you immediately think, okay, 5v5 team fight, they're probably gonna win because they just have to press R, right?
Right, and that's generally, these type of compositions generally have a higher chance to win, especially in the lower elo brackets, just because it's easier to pull off. There's less room for mistakes.
Mhm.
And looking from the side of Hades, right, they have something that's a little bit less, organized, right? It looks like they have more of a pick comp, right? You have the Jarvan, the Warwick, and I guess Karthus from across the map you can help
Yes.
out as well.
Yeah,
But
there we
besides
go.
the Seraphine art, they have very minimal, consistent engage, right? I guess you have the Jarvan that can jump in, the Warwick that can jump in, but there's nothing really to back them up, right? You have, if these champions are jumping in, how do you peel this Kog'Maw? How do you peel the Karthus? How do you prevent, Malphite Yasuo wombo combing them in the back line? Like, Jarvan he can't help with that, right? Because they're already dead by the time Jarvan even, flags into range. So
Yeah.
so it looks like it's actually Jarvan mid versus this Yasuo
Interesting.
and Karthus in the
So
jungle.
it is Karthus jungle. Okay, so we're not getting the
Yeah.
old school Karthus mid. It's gonna be Karthus
Unfortunately,
jungle.
that would have been cool. I would have
You
loved to
know,
see that.
I actually like this. I think it makes sense because Amumu's not
Yeah.
really a jungle pick that will punish you for farming
Yeah,
up, right?
exactly.
So
Mumu is
Karthus
not going to be able to
basically,
invade the Karthus.
yeah, basically Karthus has free reign over the early game at this point to scale up, which I definitely like. The Yasuo Jarvan matchup, very interesting. We don't usually see that, of course, in the mid
I
lane.
think Jarvan. I think he
Jarvan
could be
wins.
favored if he goes
I
for
think
the
Jarvan wins
short
early
trades
game.
with Grasp. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
In an all-in, maybe Yasuo can turn it around with
Nah,
Conquer.
man, Grasp
If he has Ignite.
for Wizard, forget that. This is Chad Jarvan. I want to see full lethality with the dark.
Yeah. True. Electrocute. Let's go.
Actually, that's probably not gonna
I'm
happen
down
because
for
there's
it.
no
I'm
Mumu,
down
and
for it.
that's probably not gonna happen because there's a Malphite and a
Right,
Mumu.
yeah.
And if Jarvan goes full
Unlikely.
lethality, that would probably be
That would be
horrible.
amazing. That would be amazing. I think Jarvan ult has like, what is it? It's like 175%.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
I've seen
It's
assassin
ridiculous.
Jarvans. It
Yeah.
can work definitely, but I don't think it works into the comp that Enigma's pulling out right now.
Yeah,
So Hades,
absolutely. I think Bruiser would definitely be better here. You got your
yeah,
Gore Drinker, Sterak's, the classic 2-item combo that makes you
mm,
unkillable.
yeah, pretty much. That's the
Um,
classic stuff. And I mean the scaling, right? On
right.
the scaling on Hades team comp is really good. They have the Seraphine, they have the
I agree.
Kog'Maw, they have the Karthus, right? So if we get to that late game, like we get to 30 minutes, 40 minutes, at that point they come online and they just melt. They just melt the enemy team before they can get bursted down. It's just they have to get there, and it's a lot
Right.
easier for Zenigma to do what they want to do.
Right. And I mean, just building onto that, like, you have this ultimate scaling from Hades, but the problem is you have the scaling, but you don't really have a way as I was saying before, protecting your carries, right? You have this
Mhm.
Karthus and the Kog'Maw that can dish out so much damage, but you have nothing to, get this Malphite and Mumu off of them. And they
Yep.
have such good ways, so many ways of getting onto them, right?
Mhm.
And I think that is ultimately going to be the problem with Hades' comp. And maybe this Warwick pick is going to come back to bite them, right? Because imagine if you had something like, I don't know, a Cho'Gath or maybe an Ornn, right? Like an
Yeah.
Ornn horn, just to help you out with this, just a little bit of peeling just to help out. And besides the Seraphine Encore, they are really lacking in long range CC, and that may be the weakness in their comp if it's going to be able to be exploited from Zenigma.
Yeah. Well, with that said, we're gonna go into short break, guys, while we wait for the spectator delay. We'll talk more about the team comps once we get into game. And this is gonna be game one between Zenigma and OMT Hades. Don't go anywhere. It's gonna be a banger. And we are back with our epic match of the week between Zenigma and OMT Hades. And right now we have some very interesting team comps coming out from both sides as got kind of a calm level one here, Wizard. Not too much happening as both teams just staring at each other across the river like it's World War One.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing I want to mention, just looking at summoner spells and starting items and things like that. I really like Hades' carries going for exhaust, right? You see this Karthus and the Kog'Maw both have exhaust, and
Mhm.
that's really going to help them peel themselves, essentially, because we were talking about Hades. They don't really have much disengage, they don't have much peel for their carries. So having those exhausts are really going to help out once, Yasuo starts, jumping around in the back line,
Mhm.
swinging his katana around. Um, and overall, I think we were talking, Wool guy on this card, he's gonna have a really, really free early game, right? This Amumu is
Yep.
not the jungle champion you want to punish Karthus, and he's not going to be able to, for the most part, unless you see like a 3-man, invade with, Yasuo joining in. So for the
Uh,
most part, this Karthus should be just scaling up,
yeah,
and that's good for
definitely.
Hades for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see if if Amumu can just make it up by being able to gank a lot, onto the top lane or to maybe get the Yasuo ahead. We'll see if he decides to go for that or if he decides to wait until level 6 and also gank bot because Seraphine Kog'Maw kind of a vulnerable lane if you think about it.
Right, especially you have the Galio engaged, and it's really hard if you don't have a like an Alistar to knock him away. This Galio can pretty much wreak havoc on this bot lane if he gets the right positioning. Coming in stealthed from a brush, ease in taunts. There's not much you can do if you're a Seraphine.
Yeah, basically. You don't really have, any way, any means of escape right now, especially if you are especially as an enchanter support. We'll see
Right.
if ironically we'll be able to escape if ever that happens, but it should be a kill. Especially with all the roots that they have. Oh, they're just going
Hey,
to go in on
speaking
it.
of
Yeah, there we
this,
go. Oh, I cursed it. First blood going over to
speaking of
death.
Galio into enchanter support. Oh
Yeah,
my
meanwhile, here in
gosh!
the bot lane, I'm not sure about this one for Para, who does. Well, there goes the flash in there. We'll
Whoa!
get the Q off, and that's the
Flash
kill
in.
over in the top lane, going over to the side of Hades. So good stuff. May
Wow.
have entered a bit in the bot lane, but you know what, Sir Hersh, he's got the team's back.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to see if you're this Warwick top. If you get these early snowball kills, that is everything, right? If your
Mm,
lane opponent, especially if they're Malphite, right? If they cannot die to you as a Warwick top, that pretty much negates your entire point of playing Warwick, right? Because this Malphite is going to be useful regardless, right? You have a Yasuo, you have the Unstoppable Force, you have your combo. This Malphite just needs to not die, and he's already struggling a little bit with that. So keep an eye on
ye-
this Warwick top. If he can snowball even further, that could be Hades's route to victory.
yeah, it could be. It could buy Cogmo, Seraphine, and Karthus really a lot more time to be able to scale up in that regard. And we have some trades going on. Here comes a gank by Vulgai. But, well, it's not going to work out as it was spotted by Ward. So, not too much problem there as Para, again, getting hit, getting feared. And Sir Hesh is just benefiting. And he's fine. He can just basically heal up whenever he tries to go for a trade.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about Warwick top. You're basically always half HP at the minimum, just because of your passive, and it can be very very oppressive to play against if you're a champion that doesn't have sustain yourself, like this Malphite. He has the passive shield, but if he gets low HP, this Warwick can just queue him under tower and then just heal back up to half HP off the
Yeah.
minions.
Now, what is noticeable though is that in the top lane, Para right now has the EXP advantage because he teleported into lane while Sir Hesh didn't, and the wave didn't fully push in. So
Right,
that
exactly.
might be that might be a bit of a problem. Sir Hirsch continues to keep pushing, and he just gets ganked by Amumu. Luckily for him, Amumu back.
Yeah. Um, and having the TP and not the barrier means that his 1v2 is a lot weaker. If this Amumu does come topside, his chances of actually winning that fight go a little bit lower because he doesn't have that barrier.
Yeah, right now Sir Hirsch, he's in a really bad position right now, and Para's doing a really good job just poking this Warwick at the moment,
Yeah,
just abusing the fact that he has
absolutely.
longer range and more EXP at the moment. The Q damage starting to build up, but Sir Hirsch definitely happy to just heal up from the minions. Just mentioning that it's a bit of a bad position to be in if you're the top laner. You can't get the wave pushed in.
Yeah, luckily for him, Amumu is bot side, and with
Oh,
the dragon available, yeah, that's the power of those short trades from the
that's
Jarvan
definitely
grasp. Very, very strong.
that's that's definitely the thing that they want to be able to do if they want to win out on mid lane.
Oh
As two
wow,
people get taunted immediately, Glacial gonna get hit. He has to flash away, the flash in, also by Zenith,
wow.
and he just gets taken down. This bot lane going strong for the side of Zenigma.
Yeah, I mean, in our in the champs league, we were talking about how Hades bot lane they do scale, but they have to play safe. They can't lose the early game. They're already losing the early game. 2 kills over to the Zaya. They're losing a lot of XP. And the first dragon actually going to be going over to Zenigma.
Yeah,
So
that's
this is not the position you want to be in if you're the scaling team.
tell you a position that someone doesn't want to be in right now. Para
Oh
is just gonna
wow!
get ulted to death immediately
Oh, that
by both
was
Icarus, the Cataclysm, and the
bye bye
Infinite Duress.
Malphite.
Yeah, way too much. That's the rock melting down. Meanwhile, Vulga is just happy to take the farm in the mid lane while they get the push on top. All these minions gonna go down. There's no teleport for Malphite, so that's the EXP lead evaporated in the top lane. Wizard, you there?
Hello.
All right. I think Wizard disconnected, guys. But don't worry. Can solo cast for a bit as he reconnects. But yeah, are you back, Wizard? Oh no, we're having a bit of a problem here. But anyway, back to the game. We have Vulgai just making sure that the no minion EXP or gold is being put to waste, as Jarvan did go for the gank there in top lane. It was pretty successful. The score now 2-2. The bot lane with the advantage. Meanwhile, the advantage for the side of Hades is over there in the top side, where it's possible
Hello,
that
hello.
Warwick
Can you
can
hear me?
snowball out of control. And Wizard, you're back.
Okay, sorry, some internet issues.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry about that.
That's fine.
I'm not sure if you heard what I was saying, but I was saying, you know, if you're in the scaling position as you
Mm-hmm.
want to be with Hades, you just can't be behind, especially your bot lane on this Kog'Maw. It's really not the position you want to be in. So keep an eye on the Zaya. If she can snowball even further, Kog'Maw is still even in CS. That's the highlight for Glacial here. He's not behind necessarily. Obviously Zaya has 2 kills, but that's really only a 400 gold advantage at
Yeah,
this point.
it's around
So it's
600 gold
nothing
lead.
too serious.
It's
Yeah,
around 600 gold for Desire right now, and
exactly.
yeah, as you said, it's not too serious just yet. And Zaya is one of those picks that she kind of only starts really doing a lot of damage when she gets to 4 items. The reason why
Yeah.
players are happy to just blind pick her though is just because she's a safe AD carry, right? She can use her ultimate to get away from various situations that would leave a lot of other ADCs dead in the water. So it makes sense that they decided to blind pick that. The fact that it's getting accelerated is definitely worrying for the side of Hades. Oh wait, looks like trade's going on here. Ikaros tries to go for a flag drag, but Zen Mephisto was there to
Wow,
immediately go for the
that's
counter
so
for the
big for the
gank. Yeah,
Yasuo.
that's really big. Able to get the kill, and well, the patience from Mephisto really paid off at the moment. Just completely blindsided Ikaros, who tried to go
Yeah,
for an
absolutely.
all-in. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, I think Ikaros had the right idea. He has the wave close to his turret. He's zoning the Yasuo from farming. Unfortunately, he just didn't have the vision. Just look at the
Mid
vision
lane.
control that Zenigma has in this river. Like
It's
four
yeah.
control wards. They have Scuttle Crab, like complete domination. And
Oh
Warwick,
yeah, we
they're
may have a bit of a
level
problem
here.
here as Sir Hirsch.
Oh,
Well, he died in top lane after overextending quite a
yeah.
bit. He tried to go for a heal onto Pyra, onto the Malphite, but that gave him tower aggro, and then Malphite just free to ult with the unstoppable force and take him down. So
Yeah, I'm curious because he still had the Infinite Duress ultimate available, which provides him quite a bit of healing. So I'm curious why um, that wasn't used, even just to escape like over a wall, right? But
yeah,
things happen, mistakes happen. He took turret aggro, and the damage was just too much, even for Warwick's healing.
yeah, pretty much.
And
But Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just want to take a quick look at the items, right? We were talking about this
Mm.
Kago in the bot lane, and
Yo,
he chose
wait.
to go for Cole. Yeah, go ahead.
Guess what? Jarvan bought a straighted
Yeah,
Zerk. Let's
I was
go.
I was gonna go I was gonna go into that next.
Let's
Um,
go.
so yeah, so first of all, Kaguma got Cole, and if you're going Cole, you just okay, wow, okay, Yasuo, not quite.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah, yeah.
you
I
know
mean, got the
he got
flash
the
up.
ignite. He had the idea, he burned the flash from the dragon. So you got Cole on Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw has to, just farm, right? Like look at the
Mm,
item differential between Xayah and Kog'Maw, right? Xayah has pickaxe, Noon Quiver, boots. While Kog'Maw just has, Noon Quiver, boots, and a Cole, right? So you're really behind in AD. You can't trade. You're just gonna lose, right? You don't have the attack damage to keep up with the Xayah. Especially, once she's level 6, she just has so much burst with her Featherstorm. It's just
yeah.
it's too great for you as a Kog'Maw and a
Yeah.
Seraphine, right? You're both just gonna get one shot essentially. So
Yeah. Meanwhile, here in the mid lane, looks like they're
yeah,
trying to
three
get some
manning mid.
priority. Yeah, 3-man in mid right now. Karthus has to immediately back away because the dragon is already up. It is going to be an Ocean Drake, so either a Mountain or Infernal Soul will be available. So while everything's happening in the bot, we have the Infinite Duress used in top lane on Para. A fight might happen. Zenvros takes a few Qs to the face, under his toes, dancing a bit, and right now they are immediately go for the dragon, and they should be able to take it. Because right there, there's the
Oh
big ultimate
wow!
combination coming in. There's the mummy, and
Hey,
there we go.
that's
Just
the
the
wombo
wombo
combo.
combo. Yeah, meanwhile, top lane dead
Okay,
too,
Karthus.
and only Kog'Maw is gonna be the sole survivor. Suddenly, Zenigma win out on the dragon fight. They get the dragon. They win out on the team fight, and they just get so far ahead. Karthus only able to get one single kill out of all that action happening in the bot lane, and we just saw it was the wombo combo.
Yeah, I mean, fights like that make me really wish we had, LCS budget with, high tech replays and stuff. Because
One day, one
wow,
day.
that team fight was incredible. You had the perfect engage. Karthus stepped up too far. He doesn't have exhaust. It's just him, Kog'Maw, and Seraphine. Like, what's gonna happen, right? Yasuo's gonna jump in on you. Amumu's gonna jump in on you. Galio ult. There's nothing you can do. You just die, and that's what happened. So
And I
now
just want
we
to,
got 300 gold shutdown on Xayah.
yeah, and I just want to say they layered that CC perfectly.
Yeah,
The side of
it was
Zenigma.
beautifully played.
They did not blow everything at once, and okay, Mephisto, he has to flash out of there in a lot of trouble, but at least they're able to get more plates onto their pockets. But it's not gonna be the tower going down, so at least Hades were able to save that.
Yep. So right off the bat, we have about a 1.5K gold lead. Pretty solid, especially as two dragons. And I think that's really going to come into impact, especially with Mountain Soul being
Oh, there
engaged
we
from the
go.
Yasuo.
Yeah, 1v1, last breath used already onto Icaros. Will he be able to survive this? He misses the flag, and
Yeah.
Dragon's gonna be.
Yes.
It's gonna
that's
be.
that's the power.
Yeah,
Of for sure.
it's gonna be the Yasuo coming out on top in this one. This is, as you said, the sustained trade just not working out for him in the end. Wasn't able to get the stun onto Yasuo either to be able to finish him off. So very unfortunate, but yeah, Icaros gonna lose this 1v1, and now the Yasuo is truly scaling up. Meanwhile, Mephisto here in the bot lane, ready to possibly go for a dive, and they can definitely do it. They're going in on it. Version of Sad Mummy immediately used, along with the Taunt and the Featherstorm and the Flash as well. Def gonna try to go for one more kill. Featherstorm use, and there we go. Double kill going over
Just
to
the Gale
the...
Force kill. No stress.
Wait,
Just
wait.
Gale Force.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. The kill first kill right
Funny.
there. Yep. And that's a very clean dive coming out from Zenigma onto the bot lane. And now they're just pulling full steam ahead at
Absolutely.
the moment, using their leads to their fullest.
Yeah, and that is just gonna happen when you're Zenigma, you have this point click comp, and you get a lead, right? And not only just a lead, you get a huge lead, right? This is a 2.5K gold lead right now.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Sir Hirsch is in trouble. Here comes the combo. Last breath along with the Unstoppable Force. And he will
okay, the
heal up
healing.
just in time. The Infinite Duress used as well. And it's
What?
the trap card is used. Shut down. Going over to Icaros, and Sir Hirsch will finish it off. Oh, you got outplayed there, Zenigma.
Yeah, I mean that's just Warwick for you. And wow, that was Zenigma thought they were being sneaky, but they were standing on a ward the whole time.
Yep.
So, Hades was actually able to turn that around, get 2 kills and a shutdown. Um, Shutdown goes over to Jarvan, pretty decent. And, that's just the healing from the Warwick. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it
Once
is the
that
mid
infinite
game.
duress comes out.
It is the mid
And,
game after all.
yeah, so Hades, they're not out of this yet, right? They are, once they start getting into their items, Warwick, he has his Divine Sunderer. Karthus got the Leandries, Gore Drinker on this Jarvan. Jarvan.
Yeah, Jarvan.
So,
Sorry.
these mythics are coming out, right? And yes, you're a little bit behind Zenigma, but you do have the scaling component. So, you just gotta keep playing, keep farming. Warwick has a 50 CS lead in the top lane. Mid
Yeah,
lane's
it's
even, bot lane's even. It could be worse.
I mean, Saya is 502, so kind
Yeah,
of
but I mean,
not as
if
even
you're
maybe. But
if you're 0-2 and you're still even in CS, that's pretty big, right? That's
yeah,
what I'm
that's
trying to
fair.
say. You could
That's
be
fair.
0-2 and down 30 CS, right? There's Malphite. No offense to the Malphite, but you're just down.
Wow, they're going in on this immediate cataclysm towards there, along with the
Oh,
anchor, but it
wind
just gets
wall!
blocked immediately by the wind wall, and the counter engage is way too strong. Last breath onto the back line. That's gonna be all of them going down from the side of Hades. They're in a lot of trouble. The bandage toss onto, ironically, on the Seraphine, and only one person left. It will be Sir Hirsch. Here comes the ultimate use, and suddenly, oh wait, things are not yet completely
Clean up.
underwater yet. Yeah, Warwick can clean this up immediately. He's getting faster. He's going with it for the Feather Storm. Will this route it
Oh
comes up, but
no!
they're still barely hanging on at the moment. Zendef, he has to get out of there. Para can
He's
possibly slow him
fast.
down, but yeah, Sir Hirsch, will they be able to kite this out? They
Oh
do, and in
wow!
the end, it's gonna be Deft and Para able to survive, able to win out the team fight. That was a
That
lot closer
Malphite
than it felt like it
Q.
should have been, though.
That
Yeah, the
Malphite
Malphite
slow
Q.
was disgusting.
Yeah, that was the game changer right there.
And now you have a 7-0 Zaya. She's almost 2 items. And that ADC lead, it was only 600 at first. Now it's 1,500.
It's
So
balloon.
it's
It's balloon.
almost tripled.
Yeah.
And the huge thing in that last fight, Yasuo Windwall blocking the Seraphine on point. Oh my gosh, how disgusting was that? That
Yeah.
just completely, if Hades had any chance to win that fight, it went out the window the moment Yasuo got that.
Oh, they do
And
get
wow,
they do get the dragon though.
they managed to get the dragon. They burned it
Yeah. I
down.
mean,
And
it makes sense because they
yeah,
died first,
they
so they were
reset.
first back onto the field,
Right.
and we're so makes sense that they were able to get that first.
And not only do they do that, but that is so incredibly huge for Hades. Not just because they get the dragon, but because Zenigma didn't get the dragon. And denying that soul point means you have, 10 minutes before Zenigma could potentially get that mountain soul. So that's,
Oh yeah.
you just bought yourself 5 more minutes of potential time to get yourself back into the game before they get, the permanent shield, which can be so gross, especially with a Malphite, right? And a Mumu tanking for you. The resistances they're going to have, absolutely if they get mountain soul.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the last fight was a lot closer than we thought it would be even after Seraphine missed her ult, right?
I
So
agree. Yeah.
there's definitely still a chance for them to get back into this, especially once Karthus starts getting stronger and stronger. Meanwhile, Para, Serhash trying to go at each other here, 1v1, mano e mano, and everything just didn't work out even. But guess what? It's not the 1v1, but there we go. Used immediately
Man,
is the
great
ultimate
infinite
infinite
duress.
duress. Yeah, he learned from last time. This time he was
Yeah,
able to get out.
just snapped right out of it, got away. Very, very clean.
Wait,
Oh,
Icarus
he's in
just decided
trouble
to
here.
go in and try to 1v1. Meanwhile, okay, Bulgai is here, so they're trying to go for a play. Zenfrost just used his teammates against him, and suddenly Zenfrost might end up winning the 1v1. Shield bow is used, and it's gonna be the last breath, and it's gonna be the double kill over to Zenfrost. Here comes the Requiem, has to be used just to get the kill back, but a 2-for-1 trade. I don't think that's the best trade deal at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. Karthus came in, and then that just gave Yasuo a free dash to get onto Ikaros.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate.
A little
Not gonna
comical.
lie.
But 200 years, Yasuo dashing all over the place. What else is new?
200 years.
Herald
I
in the
think
mid lane. They're almost
Yasuo's
certainly going to
probably
get this inhibitor tower.
Yasuo was probably one of the original like 200 years champion, right?
Yeah.
This kept the game so
No.
overloaded. And he was so OP
Wow,
at
no
first.
charge. That's huge. That's a for
Yeah, no
Hades.
charge.
Denying that
Yeah, at
charge
least
there.
yeah. Able to get at least some pressure or relieved rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, some pressure
Yeah.
relieved from
Same.
the mid lane,
Yeah.
but still that 2v1 has gotta hurt. Especially you thought, oh, we have the numbers advantage. Wait, Mephisto just trying to go onto ironically here, but maybe he'd gone a bit too far at the moment. Meanwhile, here we go. Immediate Cataclysm used onto the Malphite who just gets away, but Sir Hair, she's super tanky right now. The Featherstorm. I mean, the root comes up from the Featherstorm, the double kill going over. This Zenith is well and truly fed, really living up to his namesake at the moment. As an ADC, he's going back in, uses the Featherstorm to try to get the root out, and will end up getting the Zhonya's from the Karthus. Meanwhile, Yasuo's just in the bot lane farming up.
Yeah, I'm so surprised that the encore wasn't used there. Just because, if they're also low and whoa, Karthus is dead. No?
Wait, no wait.
Oh,
There we
it
go.
is.
Encore was used. Were they saving it for that moment? Immediately, Zenith, he's trying to go in. He's trying to get something back. Oh, that's so
Zenith.
close. Almost
Death
almost
1
getting the kill. That would
HP.
have been a huge shutdown for Glacial. But
Yeah.
Death just
That was
barely
1,000
able to get
gold right
away.
there. So unfortunate for Hades that Death lives there. And Yasuo just chipping away bot lane turret, gets the tier 1, free gold in his pocket. He's should be backing on Infinity Edge here, which is huge power spike for Yasuo. He didn't even need 10 deaths to get it. Great for him. So he's gonna be big crits, 100% crit chance.
Nah,
Plus
Zen Frost hits different. He's your enemy team, Yasuo.
Yeah, the enemy team Yasuo.
He's the enemy team, Yasuo. You know how it is.
Yeah, and hopefully he backs soon because Mountain Dragon coming up 45 seconds, and
it was very smart to reset.
Zenigma really wants this dragon, right? They need this Mountain Soul so they have the pressure, right? Then you can give the dragon, go for Baron, or you can just go for the Mountain Dragon when you have such a strong team comp like Zenigma have. We do see Yasuo backing for it now. It's a little. It's a little late. I don't think he's going to be punished for it just because Zenigma have the vision control. But
Jarvan is backing as well, so they may.
Jarvan's backing really late. There's only 13 seconds left for Dragon. He doesn't have TP. If Zenigma just go for this Dragon, they should be able to just burst it before Jarvan arrives. If they can.
That's the thing. Looks like they're giving it away. They're not even positioning over the
I
river.
think this is the right play. You have no vision control. You have no vision. You're walking in completely blind.
They're not going for the dragon. Trying to get a bait and switch here as Sir Hirsch will be able to get the Gemini. And there we go. The team fight use. The Unstoppable Force. It does miss though over to the Seraphine. That's a big cooldown use. And here we go. Zen Mephisto trying to get in. Meanwhile, Zerndef onto the backline, trying to get assassinated by Icaros, who tries to go for the kill. Requiem used immediately, but he will just immediately get dodged away by the Featherstorm, and suddenly everyone's dead on the side. Everyone's dead on the side of Hades. Only 3 people alive, super low health, and it looks like Zenigma will be able to get the dragon after all. But
I mean, that
call was questionable.
Sorry.
Do you think the call to team fight was a bit questionable since the dragon was right there?
I mean, that fight was a lot closer than I thought it would be. I mean, it was only a 1-for-2 for the side of Zenigma. They lost a Mumu for Warwick and Karthus. Like, that's so low casualty. It's insane for how many kills, right?
Yeah.
Is my thing bugged, or do they actually have 22 kills? Do they actually have 22 kills?
They actually do have 22 kills.
Wow, I mean, there's only 24 minutes into the game so far. They have a kill every minute. Pretty much.
Practically all of them went to Xayah. Like, there's a 50%, more than a 50% kill participation on Xayah at the moment. And here we go. Para is in a lot of trouble. He does have the Unstoppable Force to try and get away, but Infinite Duress is used. He just uses it to get out here. Again, and Para, will he be able to get away? Be able to.
No
and Mephisto are here immediately. Only plays Chase. He's gonna get low health from the Cataclysm, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. As people already here, and that's a tilter if I've ever seen one. The mid laner and top laner is dead, and they're just heading straight towards the Baron pit, gonna get that major objective for themselves.
Absolutely incredible gameplay from Para, from Only Plays Trees. You know, Para just barely hanging in there, holding the unstoppable force, waiting for Only Plays Trees to get into position. Heroic entrance. That's the most heroic entrance I've ever seen from
Yeah,
Galio.
that was
And
the
zero casualties. And a free Baron on top of it. Zenigma are in the banks right now. 5K gold lead. 3 dragons. Mountain Soul coming up 3 minutes. They are in a solid position to win this game.
Yep, they are definitely, and it's all. It feels like when it feels like I'm starting. Every time I see a numbers advantage for Hades, that's when I get worried. Which should be the opposite that's
Yeah.
happening, right? Because it's never worked out for them when they tried to put numbers into the mix when they had more people. It's just they get outplayed by the side of Zenigma. We saw the
And
top. We saw it at the moment.
that's just the power of these global ultimates, right? Things like the Shen Stand United or the Galio's
Mm.
heroic entrance. You think you have a numbers advantage, but you just
Oh, they're going
don't.
for it. Yeah, I have to stop you right there as the taunt is used, the Encore is used as well, but Vulga, he has to be able to get away. Bursted down is ironically as well on the
Yeah.
Seraphine, and well, that's 3 people dead immediately. Para will probably go down to the Requiem, and there we go. And here comes
Oh,
Glacial. Will he
Kog'Maw?
be able to clean up? Kog'Maw is still here.
Kog'Maw?
Then Mephisto, along with the shutdown, going over to the Yasuo, and Mephisto will be going down as well, and suddenly
Okay.
it just got turned around. There was way too much damage coming from Vulgai on the Karthus, doing just
Yeah.
enough for Glacial to be able to clean up, and suddenly the pressure going onto the mid lane is gone.
Yeah, I mean, Karthus dying in the middle of the fight can be so crazy. It turned that completely fight around. They had no escape. Um, Jarvan coming in at the perfect time, a little late to save his teammates, but just in time to kill 4 of the enemy team. Several of those kills, 2 of them going on to Kog'Maw. Unfortunately, that Zaya bounty, 700 gold, still available.
It's so tantalizing, Wizard. It's so
Yeah.
tantalizing that bounty. You really want it, but I think Deft also realizes how much gold is on him at the moment, so he has to be the one to make sure that he plays safe and not give his life. Otherwise, giving over 1,000 gold to the Kog'Maw who already has 3 items, uh, that's it would be very questionable if he decided to go aggressive.
And something I want to point out: this Kog'Maw, he's farming amazingly. He almost has 10 CS per minute, and despite being down 10 kills, he is only 1.2k gold behind the Zaya. So that's the power of CS, right? Like, yes, Zaya has 12 kills, but Kog'Maw is up almost 100 CS.
Mm,
And I think the saying is like, 10 or 15 CS is a kill. So,
yeah,
Kog'Maw is pretty much equal to Zaya almost. They both
yeah.
have, look at their items. Kog'Maw is actually up in items. They both have 3 items. Kog'Maw has an extra long sword. So that is just amazing. Imagine if he gets the 700 gold bounty from the Zaya. They actually have a win condition to win this game through this Kog'Maw.
I mean,
And the Karthus damage.
it's just a hyper carry, right? As long as they're able to stall enough, they
Absolutely.
should be able to win out. But right now, it is going to be the Mountain Soul that they are going to fight over. Position over
Yep.
the river
And
is on the side of Zenigma at the moment. The teleport is coming in for the Malphite immediately to try and do something. Go the slow is placed. Make sure Vulgai doesn't get taken down. Oh wait, he just gets
and we got
stuff. He is
it.
absolutely. I think he's gonna get gone immediately, but he should be able to still survive long enough to be able to use the Requiem. They're gonna use it right now immediately. Here comes the suppression onto the bottom lane, and there we go. Para gets taken down. Glacial is still alive. He managed to use the Silbo. Zenbros will be able to take him down. And meanwhile, in the end, it looks like it's gonna be Zenigma coming out on top. Only ironically is gonna live. Yep, and in the end, even with the jungler dead, they're still gonna be able to take the Mountain Soul. So just Kog'Maw not being able to survive the burst, there's no one who's really peeling for him once they decide to go for the ADC.
Yeah, unfortunately, our our prophecy came to pass. Kog'Maw just didn't have the peel to deal with Yasuo. This gets run down. Even an item up on this Yasuo, he just doesn't have the damage to compete. And Yasuo able to slice him up with his katana, and that's gonna be Mountain Soul. Very, very powerful for Zenigma. it may be, provide that just a little bit of health differential that you need to survive the Cardus Requiem. And, it really adds up.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely adds up. Plus, uh, I feel like I feel like the fact that ironically the fact that the Seraphine was not next to the Kog'Maw buffing him while he was trying to
Right.
take the fight was
Exactly.
really was problematic for the side of Hades. They just weren't able to, utilize the enchanter support and the hyper AD carry combo very effectively in that regard because they were just too far away from each other. Maybe if Seraphine was able to keep the shields up onto Kog'Maw, maybe he would have survived and taken down Yasuo, and then we would be looking at a very different fight for the side of Hades. But unfortunately, just wasn't the case. They were just too far apart.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I just want to point out this Kagwa has surpassed 100 CS differential. That's called a Flame Horizon. So, congrats to Glacial for that.
No, it's not actually. A Flame Horizon's only true if it happens in lane. That's actually
Oh,
a
really?
mistake that people get. People
Oh.
think that, oh, just 100 CS. No, you have to do it in lane before the laning phase
Oh, okay.
ends.
All right. My mistake. So, not an actual Flame Horizon, but
It's a
still
pseudo
pretty
Flame Horizon.
significant
It's
for
still pretty,
Kagwa.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's still impressive. Oh,
Now,
Booga,
does
he's just
Baron
gonna go for
take? It's risky,
steal. Oh,
50-50.
he's not gonna be able to take it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
That's
not gonna be able to take
a
it.
little
Just
late.
gets killed immediately, and there we go. Last breath on to Sir Hesh as
uh,
well, along with Unstoppable Force. That's all of them
okay.
going on top of the wolf, and he's just gonna get immediately bursted down. Man advantage along
Yeah,
with the Baron buff going
that should
over to the
be.
side of Zenigma, and that should be
Yeah,
enough
that
to take.
should be GG.
Yeah,
There's
it
still 30
should be.
seconds left. They at
It
least
should
take
be.
inhibitor. They at least take inhibitor, but I mean, if they have Mountain Shield, they should be able to just tank the Nexus turrets.
Yeah.
Especially Malphite, right? How much armor does he has 500 armor? Come on, man up, stand in the turrets, take 100 turret shots. You can do it. Let's go.
Yep,
End the game.
definitely. And well, they do have the thing anyway. But there we go. Anchor used immediately try and get try to stall out for as long as possible. Windwall is there, and only plays T. He's in a lot of trouble as well. The shutdown over to the Yasuo, who does get taken down. Suddenly things aren't looking so bright for the side of Hades of the Enigma anymore, as Def he might be in a lot of trouble here. Shutdown going over to the Cogmount immediately. Mephisto tries to stall. He tries to get some
Oh
kill, but
my.
Bulgai will just manage to use his Zonias to get out of there. And here comes the Requiem used. Only plays Chase. He's in a lot of trouble. This time, gonna get chased down by the movement speed. The boost up by the Warwick. Shut down, going over to
Wow,
him.
that
And
was an
suddenly,
unofficial
well,
ace, I think.
yeah, that was an unofficial ace as Hades were able to
Oh
stall out. They were able
my.
to hold the line against the push. So good stuff from
The
them. And Glacial is level 17.
Yeah, and the Kagura, the 3-kill Kagura is officially has more gold than the 12-kill Zaya. That's just the power of CS, kids. Don't forget the
Yeah.
CS.
Possibly I think this would be something that maybe Def would have to review because if you're that far ahead, your enemy AD carry shouldn't
Yeah,
be getting that much CS
there's no
hit.
excuse, right, to be this far
Uh
down in CS.
yeah, Icarus though, he's in a bit of trouble as Para is trying to chase him down. Should be able to get the Q. Unstoppable Force is actually used. Trying to get the
Yeah.
ultimate on it along with the
Ooh.
Cataclysm and well there's the emote as well. Just trap the Malphite. He's stuck in the arena and he can't get away because he has no dash. He is a season 1 champion. It just be like that.
Imagine having a season 1 champion with no dashes except on your ultimate.
Oh
So
wait,
sad.
he used his dash actually. He used the Unstoppable Force to try and
Yeah,
catch up to
he
Yasuo.
used it to engage, and then he
Oh,
just
he
got
only has one
cataclysm.
dash, so that's
Only one dash.
unfortunate,
Imagine.
unfortunate.
Anyway, a pretty big pickup for Jarvan here is the Guardian Angel. So he is going to be able to, soak in the front line and die, quote unquote, and then resurrect. So
And
that's a
then go
very
for
big
another.
pickup for an AD carry like that.
And he has
Not
to
an
flank
AD
too. They
carry,
have no
but
idea.
an AD bruiser.
I have no idea he's coming from behind. He
Oh,
used the last bet immediately to try and get the kill. There we go. Both Seraphine and Carter get taken down, but here comes the counter engage. And it's gonna be Zaya who's gonna get the triple kill. And in the end, despite everything, despite all of, despite the stalling that they were able to do, it's gonna be, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be Zenigma gonna be taking the
yeah.
win. It looked close at first. There were some times where there were some shining lights for the side of Hades. Fortunately,
Yeah,
it didn't just work
I
out for
think
them in this game.
I think Koguma played this game fairly well for the position that Hades was in. Unfortunately, I saw him. He was kiting to the best of his ability, but you just cannot kite a Yasuo by yourself, right? You just didn't
Did you have
have the
Flash that
defenses.
did you have Flash in that team fight? I wasn't able to
I think
notice.
he flashed in the team
Ah,
fight.
that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate then.
Yeah,
If he managed to dodge the Malphite ultimate, I think
yeah, I think so.
would have possibly won the team fight. Just unfortunate. Weren't able to do it, so Zenigma will come away with the win. It wasn't completely clean by any means, but it was at least decisive, right?
Yes, I mean they had such a strong presence throughout the entire game. Besides, I think there were two questionable fights. One of them was around the the third Mountain Soul Dragon, where they gave up the dragon for this weird mid lane fight that was kind of unnecessary.
Hmm.
And it didn't go badly for them, but it could have, right? It was just really close fight,
Yeah,
only one for
those are
two.
those are the chances you don't want to give your opponent.
Exactly,
Definitely,
right. If
when it
you're
comes to
ahead,
these
you
kind of
just want to, get your objectives, get your CS. There's no reason to be forcing unnecessary plays when you have a free objective.
games.
And the
Yeah.
second time it was around the Nexus, they pushed a little bit too hard. I was actually rooting for them because I thought they could. So I guess I made the same mistake they did. So they actually got aced there. And that was actually really scary. Koguma picking up that 1,000 gold Zaya bounty. Unfortunately, not quite enough, and Zenigma are going to take that win in the first game of the match.
It's it's just a thing, right? When you have all the eggs in the Kog'Maw basket, you need to be able to protect this pick. But if their team comes not
Absolutely.
built for it, there's just nothing you can
Yes.
really do to be able to do that. So especially Seraphine, I'd say she's a bit more limited when it comes to other enchanters like a Lulu or like
Right.
a
Absolutely.
Karma. Like a Karma, right? Because she can't.
Especially when your encore gets Yasuo Windward.
Yeah, basically, Lulu that doesn't happen. If you can block her, Q, you can block her Pixie, but her other abilities don't get halted by the wind wall. Neither does
Actually,
Karma.
fun fact: polymorph actually gets blocked by Windward. It's
Oh
a
wait, it
it's a
does. All
yeah.
right, that's an
It's
interaction
an
I did not know.
unofficial projectile, but it does get blocked. I actually
Okay,
just learned
okay,
that today.
okay.
But
Well, there we
the I mean,
go.
But the big thing is the Lulu ult, right? Imagine if Kog'Maw had that along with the Pixie. It's
Mm,
just it's so big. I don't
yeah,
think Lulu was I don't think Lulu was banned this match either, so they could have gone for it. Yeah, Lulu was up, so unfortunately they did go for the Seraphine, and the Kog'Maw was a little bit left to his own devices, as was this Karthus. So
yeah.
maybe they'll be able to keep the carries, but add a little bit more protection in the next coming matches.
Yep, and speaking of the next coming match, we will be right back, guys, for a short break as teams get settled in back to the lobby. Don't go anywhere, because there was some potential, and maybe we're gonna get to a game 3 today. Who knows? There's potential for it, but yeah, we'll see you guys in a bit. Hello and welcome back to our match of the week here in the Sophomore League. We've got Zenigma on one side and OMT Hades on the other side. And Zenigma, despite being 1-3 in the standings, they were able to take a commanding first game against their opponents, who are a bit higher with a 2-2 scoreline. And Wizard, it was a very decisive victory, not completely clean as I said before, but definitely a good one for the side of Zenigma.
Yeah, absolutely. And taking a look at the bans coming through here, we do see the same bans from the side of Hades. It seems like they're pretty confident in
Whoa,
their
whoa, whoa,
bans.
whoa, 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 whoa! Hold up here.
Uh,
We have
okay.
Seraphine and Sona. Is this going to be a double enchanter bot lane?
Yeah, e-girls rejoice. It's a shielding composition. Now the thing that I would like to see from Hades would be some sort of AD champion that can take Serpent's Fang just to shut down Zenigma right in their tracks, right? Because if you don't have Serpent's Fang at the moment, then Shield is just going to be ridiculous.
Well, I'm surprised by Wizard. I'm surprised they're not just putting this Amumu onto support at the moment, because his engage would really screw over the double enchanter bot, I feel. But I think they're putting back in the jungle as Nami is going to be taking the lane with Lucian. Now, of course, Lucian did get buff and he's not bad this game, so.
I mean, Lucian Nami, I think it's just such a good combo because the Nami E combines with Lucian so efficiently that Lucian Nami is just it's such an impressive. I think it's Lucian's best lane post his mini rework that added
that's fair.
the compatibility with support. So that's why they decided to go for this Nami over the Amumu.
That's fair.
And I do like this Trundle pick. It's going to be pretty good counter into the Amumu, especially if you take Aftershock. I think he takes Conqueror regardless, but if he does take Aftershock, Trundle is going to reduce. He's just going to take advantage of those extra resistances. I do like the Talon ban just because that's one of the champions that can use Swing.
I saw it with TDS in Senior Academy, man. Talon was absolutely disgusting. Just everywhere on the map at once. Like, in just in a snap of fingers on the other side of the map after ganking. is really oppressive to play against, so it makes sense they decide to ban it. Warwick was banned as
Yeah.
well. Possibly not liking that top lane matchup. Both top laners were banned. Sir Hirsch and Para not liking each other's champions, so
Yeah.
decided to just take it out immediately. But one thing I do want to point out: this Trundle, if he might not end up dying this game if Sona and Seraphine are able to combo well with him.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before, right? There was a little bit in the meta where Sona Lux was a popular bot lane combo. I played it myself. It's degenerate. I know. I had to shower after every game, but it's just the shielding. It's just so ridiculous. Sorry, it was
Listen,
a thing
man,
last season, not this season. But
listen, Wizard. I'm literally the last person that who would judge you about degeneracy. As you know, if we had cameras, I would be a VTuber right now.
yeah, but it's just so strong that especially you have this Yone, right? You can get so much survivability with these shields, but Hades bringing out the Kiana. I love this pick, and the reason I love it is because Kiana can go Serpent's Fang, and a lot of her abilities are AOE, so being able to apply that Serpent's Fang to the whole enemy team obviously is optimal for preventing the Seraphine Sona from doing their thing. And Sion potentially AD Sion, I don't know, could go Serpent's Fang.
Solo Bolo in the top lane. Let's go. If we're gonna see it, we're shilling.
Maybe. I would actually. I'd probably not. At least a hybrid. I would like to see a hybrid with maybe a tank mythic into maybe Serpent's Fang.
You just want everyone to build
right?
Serpent's Fang because of all the shields. Yeah,
Lucian, Nami, Amumu, go for it, build it.
All of them Serpent's Fang. There's 5 Serpent's Fang on one team. Everyone uses 2,000
now. It works against Yone's shield bow. It works against Yone's W. It works against Camille passive. It's good against their team comp. Absolutely. If Trundle builds Sterak's Gauge, if Camille builds Sterak's Gauge, Serpent's Fang is just such a good item for countering these shields. And overall, these compositions, it's a little weird. I think both of these compositions are lacking in the DPS side. Neither of them have Kog'Maw, Jinx, or Xayah that we saw last game, right? That give you that sort of consistent damage output. Yeah, you have a Lucian, but even then, Lucian, I would say he's more burst oriented than DPS oriented.
Yeah.
Just because he has his ultimate, he has his double shot passive. It literally, in my opinion, it leads to a more burst oriented because once he uses his set of cooldowns, he's a little bit on the back foot until he gets them back up again.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Lucian is one of the casters ADCs along with Ezreal, right?
Exactly.
An ADC that really wants to be able to use abilities while weaving in auto attacks at the same time.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the burst. We'll see if the burst is enough. Meanwhile, on the other side, Zenigma, they've won game 1, so it feels like they can't afford to be a bit experimental on this stage. I mean, we've heard I've seen the rumors of high elo double enchanter bot lane where it was used to varying degrees of success. We'll see if it's gonna work out here. As sorry about that, guys. We have a bit of a
mix up.
Yeah, we have a bit of a mix up.
Regardless, I do want there's a difference between being experimental and playing Sona surfing bot lane, right? Now I'm not sure if Deft and Only Plays Trees have done this composition before, but if hopefully they're not first timing it, right? So hopefully they played it a bit and experimented with it because it's really...
They won game 1. They can afford to lose the next game, right? Technically speaking.
Yeah, but there's a difference control and being experimental, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So
yeah, that's fair.
When you pick Seraphine Sona, you're basically sacrificing a damage dealer for an enchanter, and that really only works if you have proper positioning, proper if you have someone that can actually be the damage dealer, right, that you're buffing up. So ideally that would probably be the Yone here because the Trundle works as well, but I think Yone has a higher damage output if he's made quote unquote invincible by this bot lane. And the other thing about that is you're versing a Nami Lucian, so you're not going to have a lane priority Lucian. Nami should be able to completely push you in and maybe not push you out of lane just because you have the sustain from Sona and Seraphine, but they should have lane priority, and you shouldn't ever win a 2v2 fight just because you just don't have the damage. Now,
Yeah, we shouldn't see it. Now I've seen crazier things too, Wizard.
I mean, that's assuming they both go for enchanter builds. There's a possibility, Seraphine goes AP here, which I don't even think that would be a bad thing, right? Because if they don't, all of Zenigma's damage is going to be AD, right? You have Trundle, Yone, Camille. That's all AD damage, except for, Camille's true damage, Yone's true damage, etc., etc. But mostly AD damage, and you're against an Amumu Scion. So if all of your damage is AD, they just stack armor, and all of a sudden, your Yone's unkillable, but so is the Amumu Scion. They also can't be killed.
To be fair, if Scion and Amumu do stack armor, Trundle just steals it away.
That's true, but it's if Zenigma not having the mixed damage hurts Zenigma more than it hurts Hades is what I'm trying to say.
I see your point. Of course, makes you always want to have some AP in your damage comp. Otherwise, definitely not optimal to go full AD. But
now,
we'll see how it goes,
Camille,
right?
So you have the Camille.
Camille has a Cho'Gath ultimate on her.
Cho'Gath 2-second cooldown. So, so she's gonna be able to chew through this Amumu and Scion pretty efficiently, and then you also have the Qiyana on the other side. Now, the thing is, the big question in my mind in this game is: can Qiyana one-shot Zenigma's carry through the Seraphine Sona? And I think that's gonna be what this game comes down to. Can Yone Camille survive the Qiyana burst?
What do you think?
If they can,
what do you think if Qiyana just goes for the enchanters instead, though?
I mean, that's another possibility, but it's going to be tough getting to Seraphine and Sona. I think Zenigma, their composition is pretty. If they play sort of like protect the president, president being Seraphine Sona, like you can only go for one of them. I mean, I guess Qiyana has a combo that can go for both of them, but realistically, if you're going for one of them, the other one is just gonna buff them up, right? So it's like two security cameras pointed at each other, right? If you try and cut one of the security cameras, the other one's still gonna see you.
I like that metaphor.
It's hard. It's hard to cut both the security cameras at the same time, right?
We'll see. We'll see if they'll be able to do it. So
I think it's a possibility, right? Because there's a Qiyana combo, I believe. She ults, and then she throws both Sona Seraphine into the wall. She has a damage combo that should one-shot both of them while they're stunned.
Yeah.
Now the question is, does Ikaros have that Qiyana experience? Because Qiyana is a very difficult champion. You need 10, 50, 100 games to get to that level of proficiency where you can consistently assassinate multiple people at the same time, right? Just to get that angle. So definitely keep an eye on Ikaros. He's going to be very, very important in this game, just because he's the one building Serpent's Fang. Please, please build it, Ikaros. If you're watching the stream, build Serpent's Fang, please. He doesn't build it, I'm going to be so sad. You have no idea.
It's gonna be Sir Hirsch building it with the AD Scion build. Don't worry about it.
Anyway,
that's the classic that's a classic. But anyway, yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna head into Spectator Live just for a bit. So we're gonna go into a short break. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with Game 2 between OMT, Hades, and Zenigma. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 between Zenigma and OMT Hades. Both teams have switched sides, and we have some different compositions from both of them. Some interesting compositions, to say the least, especially with Sona 1 and Sona 2 down there in the bot lane.
Soda 2, love it. Yeah, so just taking a quick look across the board, we have a couple interesting tidbits. We do see Camille going Ignite TP, which is pretty standard into winning lanes. We see the Mumu going for the Conqueror route, so a little bit more sustain in the extended fights. I think that's a very good choice, especially into the Shielders, because you could use that extra durability in this extended fights they're going to be taking. And the last thing, we do see a Nami going Electrocute. And the reason that works, she only takes that rune when she's paired with Lucian, and it's because the Lucian changes when she E's Lucian. Lucian procs the Electrocute very very efficiently with this Nami. So that's why we see that interesting rune choice, because usually Nami goes for, I think, Airy, I believe, or maybe a Guardian. And it's the new Yone skin. I love it. It looks amazing.
There we go. Both you and Frost have the same taste in skins, apparently, which is good to see.
Yeah. Interesting to know, we do see junglers starting opposite sides of the map. That's very, very good for a Mumu, just because he doesn't win the scuttle fight against the Trundle, so very good that he's pathing away. And he's gonna have, as we were talking about, he's gonna have Prio bot side, so it's good that he's pathing that way just to be able to deal with, because he's gonna have bot Prio just in case Trundle does some shenanigans with the scuttle. He's going to have his bot lane to help him out. And we do see from this bot lane, Seraphine, or Sona 2, has barrier, and Sona, oh my god, it's going to happen all game. Sona has exhaust. So very, very defensive summoner spells coming out. And, as you could see,
there we go.
There's Electrocute, just
right
insta-proc. Do you see that? That's the Nami Electrocute tech. So very, very, I mean, they're not going to get poked out, right? You have the Sona healing, the Seraphine healing. They're fine. But they're just not going to have that priority. And wow, that that Camille shield is huge. It blocked that entire Scion part.
Yep. Meanwhile, we have some trading going here in the mid lane, just some short ones. And the top lane, it looks like it's going to be Sir Hirsch winning out on that one, who's been very consistent, at least in lane for
shields.
His team.
Oh my
god. That was absolutely disgusting to watch, not gonna lie. Oh wait, Ignite immediately used Zenfrost. He's trying to go for the 1v1 here. Who is going to end up winning in the end? And First Blood will go over to Icaros as the minion gets the kill instead. But yeah, that's very unfortunate.
Great flash from Icaros.
Yeah.
And if he can manage to snowball off that First Blood, that is going to be so big. Because he's going to build Serpent's Fang, right? Right?
Mm-hmm. Better.
Wink, wink.
Better. Also, I just realized that I do have the bug. I'm kind of bugged right now, so I'm gonna ask our producer to put the live screen on. There's a gank. Meanwhile, though, Sir Hirsch, this time he's the one in a lot of trouble, and overextended, and he's just gonna go down. Only plays freeze. Meanwhile, gonna get punished in the bot lane. As trying to push Sir Hirsch, trying to do as much as he can. And Wookie, if I may see your screen, that'd be really great.
Cool. And
right, you take over for a bit.
Yeah, Camille getting that kill on the Scion, very, very strong. As a snowballing top laner like Camille, sorry, not necessarily snowballing, but spiking top laner like Camille, right? Once she gets those items, she does so much damage. The meme, Cho'Gath Q every 2 seconds. And it's a meme, but it's true, right? So she deals so much true damage that if she gets fed, everybody on the enemy team has to be worried about her, right? Squishies need to be worried, tanks need to be worried. No one is safe from the Camille. And that's a really good thing that they have this on their team, right? Because you have a Yone, which can really help against the squishies, healed and shielded by Sona 1 and 2. And then you have the Camille to mop up what's left, come in from a flank from behind with her her extreme mobility, right? And it's the things like that that can take your comp from mediocre to the next level. Having that versatility in your engages and your damage output, And the only thing that's bad I would say about their comp is we were going over in champs like is the fact that you have very minimal magic damage if both of the bot laners go for healing. Now, if Seraphine goes for AP build,
Going for two. She's going
which
for
it
two.
looks like she is,
Yeah.
so very good for that. I think that's a very good decision. You lose a little bit of the healing shielding, obviously, but you gain that AP damage, which you would be lacking otherwise.
Oh yeah, definitely gonna be needed, especially with all the AD on the side of Zenigma at the moment. But Gold lead hasn't extended too far yet. It is going to be OMTH with a bit of a lead there in the top lane. Meanwhile, Zenfrost trying to get away from Icarus, who has hit level 6. They got to be a bit careful around walls, otherwise the supreme display of talent will end up biting them in the butt. Here comes some trades with Sir Hesh. Again, he's the one who he made it back in time to be able to get all the XP from the minions, so he is a level up. And the gank, even though the gank did not break, even though he did that in the gank, the fact they had to share XP on that means that Sir Hesh will be ahead in levels. But here we go, trade 1v1. It seems Sir Hesh and Para trying to go in onto each other, but the shielding coming from the passive of Camille, this might be too much for Sir Hesh to deal with.
Yeah, especially with the item advantage over to the Camille, right? She has a sheen compared to just boots and cloth armor. For Sir Hirsch, this is not a
Ignite
fight that
used
he
immediately.
wins. Wow,
Yeah,
almost.
there
I
we
think he's
go.
gonna live with a sliver of
Yeah, he's gonna
HP.
live.
Yeah,
He is
but
definitely
he
gonna
is
live. But
gonna have to back TP back. So Camille forcing out the TP, very very good. Punish right for Sir Hesh for playing a little too aggressively in that lane, perhaps. Um, and I think the first blood kill onto this Kiana is so big just because look at the item differential, right? I mean, not anymore, right? Because Yone just backed, he has boots. But before
mhm.
it was a serpent or a serrated dirk versus a dagger, right? And that just the whole lane is just so favored into Ikaros because the serrated dirk advantage. Look, she just backed on an iron spike whip. So look at the item differential, right? She has 60 AD, a 10 lethality, and the iron spike whip active versus tier 2 boots. So the damage differential between this Kiana versus this Yone is so heavily favored towards the Kiana, especially with Ignite, right? That
Yeah,
if this Yone missteps, he's just dead.
yeah.
And the if the Kiana is the next level, she's gonna be able to abuse that. We'll see if Ikaros is able to, but in the meantime, that is going to be first dragon, Cloud Dragon, over to Red side.
Yeah, I mean, Zenigma has been pretty faithful with getting the dragons for themselves, even though bot lane did not work. It's not working out so well for them this time. It's gonna be Lucian who's pretty far ahead when it comes to just CS, and that's the kind of thing we
Yeah,
expected, right? We kind of
right.
expect
That's
because they just sacked bot. They decided to sack bot lane. Meanwhile, here comes a gank, and well, the
oh
hook
the
shot
E
stops the EFT.
interrupted.
Yeah, here we go. It's a free
You're
display
dead.
of talent as well, and there we go. Para is
Free kill.
taken down and will be Ikaros taking the kill for himself, and that's another kill going over to Kiana. So things going well for the snowball angle. If Icarus makes
Yeah,
it
that
late
was
night,
a
something like that.
fantastic decimating smash by Spicer Hirsch,
Oh wait, they're going on
forcing.
this again.
Wow, Zen
Yeah,
Frost. There's no
yeah,
Kiana
with
ultimate.
Mumbai.
I don't. Does this work?
Oh
Oh, okay,
wow.
okay, it
Okay.
works. Okay, Kiana damage, right? I was just talking about it. 60 AD, 10 lethality, you're one shot, right? That's just how it goes.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's very
wow,
unfortunate.
wow,
That
wow.
was a That's a very unfortunate series of events for the for her and Frost on the owner right
Yeah,
there.
that's huge. That's gonna be two plates over to Kiana, 320 gold, just like that. And I just want to go back. Very, very good decimating smash from Sir Hirsch onto this Camille, right? Interrupting the hook shot midway. Camille's just dead, right? No flash, no hook shot. Ikaros is coming in.
Oh, they're
While being
going for
engaged
it.
bot lane, flashed into the
Oh,
not.
so low. They're flashing. Oh, he has to flash away immediately. That one tower shot did Nami in. Did her dirty, but
Yeah,
able to get away in the end. That was a really good anchor, at least to stop the engage from Deft on the Seraphine. But in the CS
but no
department, not really doing
casualties.
too
No
hot. Yeah,
casualties.
no casualties, but not doing too hot in the CS
Yeah.
department. Like
Yeah.
Lucian's
Yes.
practically 2 kills up at this point.
Okay, but the Yone roam, there's no vision. There's no vision. From that
What's Sir Hirsch?
tri-bush,
What's Sir Hirsch
Glacial may be in
overextend?
trouble here.
Yeah, there we
Oh!
go. Like that. Yeah, that missed, so not
Okay,
gonna be
that
working
happened.
out so well. Yeah, not gonna be working out
uh,
so well for the Yone. Meanwhile, here in the top lane, Sir
Fate
Hirsch,
sealed,
maybe in
more
luck.
like fate unsealed.
Had to do him like that. Yo, chill, chill. All right. Meanwhile, both junglers have found each other here on the top lane. They're going off at 3 different targets, but Icarus is here as well. It's not a 2v2 as they expected, and Icarus on a killing spree on this Kiana. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, man, a snowballing Kiana is absolutely scary when ahead.
We've been saying, the first blood onto Kiana, it's so big. Imagine how different this game would be if Yone got that first kill instead, right? The whole game would be completely different. But Kiana got it, and now you have a 301 Kiana. She's almost 5,000 gold in her pocket. Overall, not in her pocket, 500 gold in the bank. And she's probably gonna get her full item on her next bag, Mythic.
Yeah, and they're going for it again. Will the Supreme Display of Talent be used? No, it will not. Oh wait, it was already just used earlier. What am I
Oh,
talking
that's good.
about?
This is just gonna be. Is they just gonna take first tower here, just like that? Okay.
Yeah, they definitely could. But
Seems reasonable.
Trundle is here, but Nami's here as well to back up. And Lucian did back away, so there's a perfect roam timer
Ooh,
for their side.
Get
And
turret just yet. Are they
yeah,
gonna go for it?
if they're able to get this turret, that would just open things up for Kiana, right? She'd suddenly be able to go so many places.
But on the other hand, it then gives Yone extra room to farm for free. So there's pros and minuses for opening up the mid.
And we'll see if the pro works out for them as... Oh, there's a stun up. And Zenfrost, be careful. She's going to use the Fate Seal just over onto Icarus, who just manages to end up dying. And, well, Icarus does end up getting killed in the end. But you know what? There's a response. It's going to be...
Wow.
It's going to be the roam from, ironically, managing to get the kill. So, well, that happened. That was a decent engage.
What a game
that was a decent
so far.
surprise.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
What a series
so
so
much
far.
action.
What a series so far, honestly.
Okay,
what is Kiana?
Is Kiana building Gore Drinker? Is that meta?
Gore Drinker's meta everywhere right now, especially for
assassins.
assassins.
The item's broken, but on Kiana?
I mean, Talon uses it to engage, so I guess Kiana, same logic, kind of.
True. But I think Talon has an easier time in his spell rotations. Like, Kiana's spell rotations are a little bit burstier. But, the item's broken. Everybody and their mother builds it, so... as long as you're not AP. Well, build it on Sona, who cares? The item's broken.
So going back to the situation at hand, despite the broken items we have here, the two top laners did end up trading 1-for-1.
Yeah.
Solo kill for each other. Up there in the top lane. Not too bad, especially if you're Sion and you find yourself a bit behind. The fact that he was able to 1v1 the Camille is pretty huge, honestly.
Yeah. And, Camille has full item completed. She should have very strong priority in this lane now. As you can see, she's just auto-winning these trades. Look at that. Just disgusting.
Yeah, it's very hard to be able to win these 1v1s.
Playing a tank into Divine Sunderer is honestly torture. Like, FBI, if you're watching, if you need to torture somebody, just have them play a tank into Divine Sunderer Camille, and I can guarantee they'll give up in like 5 minutes, right? They'll tell you everything you want to know.
Just have them play top lane in solo queue.
Yeah, just have them play top lane. That'll do the trick.
Have them play top lane and their first pick on blue side.
Oh, okay. Stop before I leave. Okay, I can only take so much. But this Ocean Dragon is available. We have to see whether Amumu. It looks like they're going for it. They should be able to claim it. They do have, they have a 5k gold advantage thus far. Hades pretty solid in this game so far. Look at that damage! Oh my god!
There we go. Come here, they're going for it.
Outplay?
It's gonna be the outplay with the charge, man, just to get the kill. While Para was struck under the tower.
Hirsch. You have my respect, brother. You have my respect. Well played.
That was very well played coming from him.
Beautiful, unstoppable onslaught. Yeah, Para just a little bit too greedy, right? You have your 20 HP. armor shield, but Scion has a 15% HP shield by himself. So, you engaged a little bit too far. Scion had his shield back onto rotation, and you got punished.
Yeah, Para flew a bit too close to the sun in that moment. Fortunately, that sun happened to be a turret.
And we're seeing a little bit of trend, in the CS department. Glacial again, 50 CS up. Even last game we saw he was doing incredible farming on that Cogball, and now as on the solution, 250 gold bounty. He's 0-0-0. How ridiculous!
Oh,
He's
here comes
that
the
good.
dive though. Yeah, Icarus is coming here. He does spot the ward. So are they going to be able to continue is the big question. The wave is getting pushed in super fast. But it looks like Kiana is just going to back away. The opportunity was gone. And the bot lane of the side of Zenigma will continue to be safe for now. As both teams, it's just quiet as the dragons haven't spawned yet. One to each. But the fact that they were able to stall out at least gives room for Zenigma to stop the snowball from happening, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They need to cut it off on the limb right now, and unfortunately, Yone looks like he's gonna die, so that's not gonna
Yeah, that's
happen. Okay, now they need to cut it off on the limb. No more dying. Okay.
He's going for the 0-10 power spike this time. It's his turn to go for it.
Only 6 more to go. You're
Yeah,
almost
there we
halfway
go.
there, Ross. You're almost there.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
meanwhile, okay, the slow is being used. The hook shot
okay.
to get out, but the
CC?
bandage shot just managed to get the hit along with the unstoppable onslaught. Will Camille be able to survive the
Wow.
curse of the sad
Look,
mummy used as
the
well?
Amumu CC.
They threw
It's
everything in but the kitchen
ridiculous.
sink at Camille and it worked out. So
I swear, you're CC'd for like 5 straight seconds just from the Amumu. Like, wow. And Wool guy layers it well. I mean, you saw that Camille couldn't move. She was just
yeah.
Hera was just in place permanently.
Yep,
So
pretty much.
Great. This Amumu pick, very, very strong powerhouse.
Yeah, so far it's been pretty valuable. Maybe it will get banned in the third game, so we can see something else. Because the gen has been so far.
I mean, it's been
the team that gets
first
a Mumu
pick
wins.
on blue side. Yeah, it's been first pick blue side both games. So obviously both teams know just how strong it is and its capabilities, right? Because not only is it strong, it's flexible too, right? You can take it jungle, you can take it support even, so you have that additional flexibility.
Flexibility be enough though for Zenigma to be able to get the, or rather for Hades to get the win. Rather, they are down in the series already 0-1, so they need to be able to win this series in order to get a foothold back. I did expect this Wizard. I did expect this series to be close based on the standings, and
Yeah,
well, it's delivering so far. But it's kind of been decisive both ways. Like whoever
Right.
gets a Mumu seems, as I said, whoever gets a Mumu seems to be put in a winning position again and again and again because he's just so easy to execute on, especially when it comes to team fights.
I don't want to go too far as to say it's because of Amumu, but I want to say Amumu is very good at enabling other champions at getting leads. And both of these teams, once they secure that early lead, both of them so far, right? This game's not over yet, but both teams seem to be doing a really good job of making sure that their lead stays there, right? They're not throwing 5K gold leads back and forth, right? And I think that's very, very good, right? Especially for this the sophomore and the freshman class. If you're not throwing leads consistently, that's very, very good, and it shows a lot about you as a team.
Oh, there we go. Supreme display of talent. Just send up the fate shield, and it's not going to be enough.
Vulgai,
yeah, Vulgai will just clean that one up, and not working out too well.
Right through the shield.
Another Rip Herald being dropped, and it's just hard. It's just hard to be able to deal with.
Look, there's no one there to contest it from the side of Zenigma. They're just going. The recalls are coming through, but the Herald's charging.
Yeah,
I mean, Trundle's here, but it's a little late.
Meanwhile, Lucian is 0-0.
Just like that.
Meanwhile, Lucian 0-0 in the bot lane, just happily farming with a 350
gold bounty. And not only that, but we do have Infernal Dragon available, and it looks like Hades are running straight to that. Can Sir Hirsch avoid dying here? He has the unstoppable onslaught, but the Trundle Pillar. Trundle Pillar?
Oh,
Oh!
just redirected
Is he
it. All
dead?
right. He
No,
might be.
no
The hook shot
ways.
coming in. Slows as
Oh
well. Sir
no.
Hirsch in a lot of trouble, but he's a very
There's
tanky
still the
boy. He
Hextech
does.
ultimatum? Wait, he's out! He's actually
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, he managed to get
Her
away.
trolled! She has the Hextech ultimatum.
That's wait, they're just going for the Baron
Wait,
immediately.
wait.
Oh, I like this play.
2000 IQ play?
Yeah, this is a very sneaky play
They
that
don't expect it. Wait, that's just a free Baron.
yeah,
Oh,
it is.
okay. Zenigma with the macro plays. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. So I
Yeah.
think they're actually sort of back in the game with this. Because it gives them,
They could
what is
be.
it, like 1.5k gold? Something like that. 300 per person. So, yeah, 1500.
I wouldn't say back in the game completely, but definitely
I
stabilized
mean,
things
okay,
somewhat.
there's still 10k, there's still 8k gold behind. Yeah, so you're right. But okay, Kiana, just build a Serpent's Fang. Why are you going Yomu's? Come on. Stop
It's the
trolling
most.
me.
Imagine if they
I'm gonna
lose
have a
this
heart
just
attack.
because. Imagine if they lose this just because of the shields and because Kiana didn't build Serpent's
Like,
Man. That would
you're
be absolutely
facing.
sad.
Okay.
Yeah, Fate Shield use await. Suddenly
Look.
fight back and
Okay.
okay. Ah,
Did she die?
yeah,
No.
no.
Okay, but look how
Calculated.
close
That was
it
very
was. Look how
calculated. That
close
was
it was.
calculated. No,
If
don't worry
you
about it, Wizard. That was calculated.
if you had the serpent, it wouldn't be that close. Just saying.
That's true. I agree with that. Definitely.
You're just frozen too, right? Just checking.
Yeah, everyone's
Okay.
frozen as I think
Okay.
we
Well,
just
it's
rolled.
just a
We
riot
rolled a bit
games.
horribly on the server, probably.
Yeah, unlucky.
Yeah,
Just taking
but
a quick look at mythics. I do want to, say, yeah, Deft is going AP. We see the Leandries into Needlessly Large Rod, very, very good. And a weird thing is we see Trundle going Gore Drink. Now, yeah, the item's really, really strong, but Trundle synergizes so well with Divine Sunder, and you're against a Scion of Mumu. So it's a little questionable, I think, going Gore Drinker, but I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. I
would you
probably
prefer Divine Sunder?
I think so, just because you're against Seraphine.
Seraphine, just one hit from the auto attack, and
Yeah, I mean,
Zen
yeah.
Mephisto, he's not even super.
Look at
He's not
those
super tanky at
shields!
all.
Wow.
Yeah, the shields are good, but the damage just too much. It
Yeah, the
feels.
damage
Flash
is
out
even
is zone
better.
immediately. Meanwhile, Camille onto the backline. Para trying to do what he can to kill the support at least, but it's not gonna work out. It feels like as that's a lot of damage, but well, again, it's not gonna be enough. As ironically, we'll end up actually dying to the ignite. So 1-for-1 trade down there.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Vu,
Mumu
he just
flash?
flashes. They're trying to go for it. They're trying to go for the bandage toss immediately.
the
Oh, and it's Sona that got hit instead. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Zenfrost, though, he's getting head
What
back
the-
immediately. And I don't think he's going to be getting out of there
What
anytime.
am I
The field shield
watching?
used, and
What were those flashes?
that was,
Okay.
that
All
was
right.
the most interesting series of flashes I've seen so far. All right, the
It
re-engage
can't
might end
end
up
though because
happening.
of the Baron. So, snagging that Baron was so big. It denies this possible end scenario. So Zenigma, honestly, that Baron play was really, really, really nice. I'm surprised that they got away with it, to be honest. But Hades still pushing the bot side, and we do have another Infernal Dragon coming up in a minute 45. That's going to be Soul Point if Hades managed to grab it.
Yeah, they should be able to. The base is broken already, though, for Zenigma, who found themselves in a bit of a trouble, especially when killing targets at the moment, because they can't seem to do anything of the sort as of yet.
Yeah. Okay. We see the pickaxe. We see the pickaxe coming out for Icaros. That means he is building Serpent's Fang.
Excellent.
I am satisfied.
All right, guys. Close the game. All right, we're good. There's service.
Yep. Back it up, boys. There it is. Serpent's Fang completed. Just in time for this dragon. Very, very nice. I am happy.
I mean, if the side of Zenig OMT manages to win this game, or rather win this dragon fight, that could just be the game ending. If they're able to do it decisively with a lot of people, they're trying to go in, but the slows from the pillar just able to buy them enough time to get away. But there comes in top one onslaught. It's envy.
Oh my
Seraphine just
God.
gets taken down, and the supreme display of talent used. maybe wasted a bit just on that one target when Seraphine was
Yeah.
definitely gonna die anyway. But
I mean, they're just
at this
they're going for
point,
the end. They're
yeah,
going they're no mercy. They're sprinting it. They have the
yeah, there's
supers. Camille's not there yet. She's still backing out or recalling. I mean,
indeed, and they should be able to take it too, unless something untoward happens right now. Onto the back line goes Zenith. And well, it's a kill 1-for-1 at least with Yone going down, but that's the main damage dealer down as well. Camille is the only one left alive that can still really do out. The
oh,
culling
the Gore
is used
Drinker,
immediately, and there we go. Gore Drinker
the
keeps him
the,
alive.
the
And well,
Kiana
only
Gore
two
Drinker.
enchanters left. It's gonna be Iron Kali, Karos, Glacial, and Sir Hirsch. Looks like they're gonna be the ones ending the game as just doing tons of damage
Oh
towards this
my.
enchanters. Zenigma. Unfortunately, their strategy just didn't work out. But then again, I can't really fault the bot lane because the mid lane just got way too
Look,
fed.
in
Karos on
in
this,
that one fight alone, Serpent's Fang reduced 757 worth of shielding. That's insane. From
that's pretty
that
good.
one like short engage. That's how broken that item is. It's so insane into that comp.
That's pretty
Um,
good. Something
yeah,
you really have to take note of when you have a shield comp, honestly, is the fact that
exactly.
Circling Spang is an item right now and people are willing to use it. Honestly, even if Kian didn't go for it, maybe Lucian could have gotten it and procced it as well, or Sion. But
Maybe, yeah.
ideally, yeah,
Um,
as you said, ideally it was on Kiana. Icarus did the exact right thing.
yes, very good. And I just want to point out again, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but both of these teams playing so well once they get that early lead, right? You get the first blood, you get the um, favorable gank, right? You get your laners ahead. They're able to push it even further. Getting CS leads, XP leads, gold leads, item advantages, and every little thing adds up. They're turning it into objectives. Both of these teams have done it once. Now, who is going to do it the third time in the final game of the series? Who's going to get the lead? Who's going to take the victory?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out in the next game, as you said. But until then, guys, we will be right back after a short break. Don't go anywhere. Hello there, and welcome back to Game 3 between Zenigma and OMT Hades. And we did expect to get here, Wookie, since both teams were pretty close in the standings, as I said before. And yeah, now we're here as, well, it was a stomp kind of in both sides from Game 1 and
Yeah.
2. So, will it be a more even game, or do you expect one team to be able to get the draft diff?
Um, I think the draft plays a big a Mumu ban. We saw it coming. From Red side, we were expecting the Mumu ban.
Yeah.
But I really think the draft enables these teams to get a lead, and once they get that lead, they're able to hold on to it. So I think both of these teams need to focus on, maybe hold off a little bit on the scaling. You can have some scaling, but try not to dive too deep into it. Make sure you have some early priority. Make sure you have, lane pressure. You have, things that can help you scale,
Wow.
just like a Zac, right? Zac is so strong in, getting his laners ahead. He has, decent farming after his first clear. So much gank potential once he gets, I think level 4 is when he can start getting some good angles with his E, slingshot, and so much CC overall, right? He has, his Q knock up, his E knock up, his R knock up, root knock up, everything. Huge CC coming out from Zac. Followed up by the Jarvan from the side of Hades. They played it first game, and they backed off it on the second game. I'm curious if this is going to go into the jungle or back to mid lane again. We're just gonna have to wait and see as the draft rounds out.
Yeah, agree. And looks like, well, Shen obviously.
Wow, blind pick Shen? That is
Yeah.
ballsy. I mean, okay, fair enough. You do have Set Mordekaiser banned, which are some rough matchups for Shen. So I think it is decent to pick Shen this early when you have those hard counters banned. It is still a little risky, especially when you're red side. So that means they're going to try and save counter pick for mid lane, most likely.
Yeah.
And Zenigma are going to follow up with Ornn. So you're going to see some pretty beefy top lane action. And I think that lane is actually Shen favored, potentially.
Yeah, I think it is.
I mean, it
a
doesn't
bit
really matter just because they're both playing for team fights regardless. But
I think Shen should win, especially if he takes Ignite.
yeah,
I don't expect him to
and
take Ignite
if
since it's
he-
competitive, but yeah.
yeah. I mean, if he saves his W for the
Oh.
Ornn Riddle, then that's good. That's
Yeah,
brutal.
that's very
Vayne.
good. That's very good. Vayne.
He's gonna make the tanks cry. He's just sad.
Well, that's her job, so she better
yeah.
make the tanks cry. Otherwise,
so that's the thing with Shen, right? You're not playing for lane. You're playing for level 6. Then you use your Stand United, get all around the map. Get this Vayne fed, right? You need it. You need the Vayne. The Vayne cannot fall behind, right? If the Vayne falls behind, the Ornn and the Zac, they're not scared, right? They're Vayne 3 levels down. You're not scared of the Vayne, right? No items. She's not threatening. But if this Vayne, gets a early kill, gets CS advantage, right? Hades have been known, we've seen they're very, very consistent with their CSing, especially from Glacial on the ADC role. So if this Vayne has that, 10 CS per minute, right? This Ornn is shaking in his boots, right? He doesn't. There's nothing he can build that can save him from this Vayne. Even Anathema's chains doesn't work against true damage. So Vayne is going to shred through him regardless.
Yeah.
So Zenigma need to focus, making sure this Vayne doesn't snowball, and opposite for Hades, right? They want to make sure this Vayne is always relevant. And not necessarily you have to get Vayne ahead, but you have to make sure Vayne doesn't fall behind, right? Because we saw the first game, right? Their bot lane was like 0-4. I think both of them were 0-2. That's really bad. Now, fortunately for them, they lost the game, right? But they were still consistent with CS and farming and levels, so they weren't behind in that aspect, but they were just, overall behind. So hopefully they can maintain that going into this game. And oh my god, they paired it up with a Soraka. That's gross. Soraka is so broken right now. It's like I say broken because she's actually I think she has like a 53% win rate, something like that. Let me double.
That's pretty. That does sound pretty gross. Yeah, but Leona is gonna be picked up along with the Saya. That could be enough CC to shut down this Vayne and Soraka, possibly. We'll see who gets priority. I mean, technically,
Yeah,
Saya should end up getting priority, right?
I think
Unless
so.
they, unless the 2v2 ends up working out really well because both Vayne and Soraka are range, they can abuse their level 1 definitely. So we'll see how it
Right.
goes when it hits level 3.
Absolutely. But I
We'll see how
think
it goes once
once
level 3.
once the level 2, level 3 comes around, Xayah Leona should definitely have the lane, right? Obviously Xayah having longer range over this Vayne, and Soraka being Soraka, right? Just less impact in the 2v2 than a Leona can have, perma stunning this Vayne, preventing her from dishing out damage. Yeah, Soraka can heal her up a little bit, but if Vayne is not able to perform any actions after being perma CC'd by Leona, they're going to lose the fight regardless of how much HP Vayne has. So,
Yep.
Rounding out the picks, we see a Syndra and an Orianna. Pretty typical, long range mages coming out. Orianna is a little bit more of a interesting pick just because of the combo with Jarvan potentially, right? You put your ball into Jarvan, Jarvan dives in, very nice cataclysm into the middle of the team fight. Then Orianna falls up with her ultimate and Shockwave, and then all of a sudden you have a huge Shockwave in the middle of the enemy team. Big damage, huge impact.
And then
Now
and
on the
then Shen
yeah,
comes in with the Stand United,
yeah,
right?
Shen
And
comes in with the Stand United.
immediately taunts the entire team while they're stuck
Exactly.
together with the ball, and suddenly.
Meanwhile, Vayne in the back line just making the Orin wish he picked like Camille or something.
That is true. I mean, we'll see how it works out. There is a Syndra on the enemy team, right? So there's a possibility
Yeah,
Vayne
so
just
they,
gets
they do
blown.
have the disengage. Yeah, that's the important part. When you're looking at I really like your point there, just because Hades, they don't have pretty much any disengage, right? All of their champions are focused on engaging, and they have no real way to back out if Zenigma gets a good engage on them. And that's a little troubling because look how much engage Zenigma has, right? They have the Zac jumping in, they have the Ornhorn, they have the Leona stun, and they have a potential Syndra stun if she gets it max range. So Hades need to be really, really careful that they're always in right position, because if they're out of position and Zenigma engages on them and Hades isn't ready for it, they're just going to get steamrolled.
I agree.
Likewise, Zenigma has a decent amount of disengage, right? They have the potential Leona stun, they have the Syndra knockaway, they have the Ornhorn for disruption, the Zac ult for disruption. So Zenigma, I think they have a little bit more well-rounded comp in terms of, okay, we can fight now, or maybe we can back out a little now. We have good DPS, we have good AP damage, good AD damage. Meanwhile, on the side of Hades, they're a little bit more all or nothing, right? So if they go in, they have to fight to the death, essentially, right? The only person with an escape is like Jarvan.
Yeah.
So it's really going to come down to who fights who has the vision control, who has the gold advantage, who has the item advantage, and how that works into the team fight itself.
All right. Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. This is gonna be a game with a lot of team fights, so my voice is gonna be dead by the end of it. We'll see how it goes, but yeah. Until then, don't go anywhere, guys. We will be back soon with Game 3 as we wait for the Spectre delay. And yeah, get your popcorn, get your soda. It should be a banger. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Runeterra Academy, Sophomore Division, and well, we reached Game 3 in our match of the week between Zenigma and Omega Titan Hades, and able to. Well, we're gonna see who's gonna be able to win this one. So far, it's been stomps all throughout. Maybe this one will be a bit more even, and we'll see some very hype team fights because both teams are built for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not sure Vayne is not in her 5 point position. Shame, shame, shame. It could be getting invaded from the bot side, and they'd never know. Um,
Could
anyway,
have a word
it
there right
doesn't
now.
matter because they're not going for the invade. However, pretty standard stuff across the board. Orn didn't do the cheeky start, which I really like. What you do as Orn is you start with refillable potion and nothing else, and then you buy a Doran shield after you farm a couple minions. That
Yeah.
way, you get the double potion, and you also get the sustain from D shield. I really like that strategy. Didn't happen this game, not a big deal either way. Not win or lose.
You know what strategy they're going for right now? It is going to be both junglers starting on the bottom side of the map, so we might end up
Yeah,
seeing some more action up there in the top lane as Zach and Jarvan might end up just deciding to fight for the Scuttle, Mephisto, and Vulgai. We'll see if they
yeah.
manage. We'll see if they manage something. But
Very interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to transpire in that top side. Who's going to have top lane prio? Who's going to have mid prio? And that's going to be all the difference in this 1v1.
yeah,
Very
but
very nice trade from Sir Hirsch on the Shen.
yeah, Zach did decide to go for the Krugs though, so that's gonna slow down his clear significantly. So I think Jarvan will be the one first to the table there on the top side, but the taunt from Sir
Oh
Hirsch. Oh
wow!
wait, Ornn might end up dying here.
Wow! Just
If
forced a
Shen had
flash.
ignite, he's dead. If Shen
Yeah,
had the solo Q, this is had the solo Q build. Ornn was absolutely
that
dead there.
that's just the power of the Shen level 2 power spike. It's so strong. Doesn't respect it. I mean, Hora should have been counting the minions. He should have known, okay, Sir Hirsch is going to get level 2 on this minion. I need to back out now,
Oh, here comes
or
the
I'm just
taunt
going
from
to get
Shen.
taunted. And just like
All right,
that, another favorable trade. Um,
I don't think that was super favorable though because of the
not as
tower
much. I
shot.
think maybe he took a tower shot, but it's the matter of principle, right?
It's
Um,
a matter of principle.
yeah, we do
All
see
right, fair
Zach
enough. Fair enough. I'll
definitely
give you that one.
behind in his clear, I would say. So
Yeah,
he's
I'm not
most
sure why
likely
he
just
went
going to
for
be.
Krugs.
I think he's giving the scuttle. He's going to go bot scuttle most likely because he has bot lane prio. Because you see the Shen is shoving in anyway, so Orn wouldn't be any help. Oriana as well has lane prio, so it would literally be a 3v1 if he went for the scuttle. Um,
Yeah,
but the real question is
probably.
his clear is so he just started blue buff. Like if Jarvan invades him right now, Jarvan's looking for him. No, oh he's going top side.
Are they going for a dive right now? The
No,
wave's
Jarvan's
not there. Oh wait,
he
he's
smited. He
gonna get it
smited.
though. He should be able
Oh,
to
this
get it.
is so bad.
They're
Take the
fighting
blue.
for it. Who's gonna get the last hit? Oh, it will end up
Oh,
being Mephisto. Zenfrost trying to get something done right here.
okay. The,
Icarus
the
is there
Grand
to
Prix
back up.
side. The Grand Prix side.
Player Zenfrost used the Sky of the Week immediately,
I think he should just
and
go bot scuttle instead of. Hmm.
yeah, I probably should.
I
If
think
I
him
was,
going for bot scuttle guarantees he wins something, while staying around for the Zac doesn't help him as much. But I mean, he's going bot. He's running straight down, so
yeah, he is.
he's solid.
I mean, right now it's
And
Jarvan with a big advantage in the jungle, right? Because Zac slowed is clear, so you should
yeah,
be able to get to the Skull Crab even first. Because right now the priority is kind of even on the bot side. Icaros getting a bit low on health, a bit low of on mana as well, so it has to back away and
yeah,
possibly
absolutely.
teleport back. But double scuttled. It looks like it will be the double scuttle. Zac, unfortunately, I don't think he was very efficient with his pathing in this early game, unfortunately. And okay, Sir Hirsch
Oh,
trying
a
to do something
smite!
on Runeterra. Wait,
Yoink!
who got it?
Zach got it. He yoinked it with
Oh,
his
okay.
smite.
Never mind. It just pathing doesn't matter. He got the smite anyway, so that's a big win for
Yep.
the Zap, honestly.
Yeah, unfortunately, Volgai. Oh my god, I think he's dead.
He might be
Oh,
flash, and yeah,
oh,
there
the
we go.
flash!
Oh
Oh,
no,
he's
the
dead. He's dead. He's
minions!
dead.
Yeah, it's a 1-for-1 in the end in the
The Q
top lane.
slow. The Q slow.
Yeah,
Very nice from Hora.
that's very unfortunate. Pyra made it costly. He made it costly, but the first blood going over to the Shen, who has
Yeah,
already
with the
completed His
Yeah, but that's good for Sir Hearth because look at the wave state. It's pushing towards him.
mhm.
So Para has the TP, but Sir Herch doesn't. So he has the TP advantage, and he's gonna have the Stand Unite advantage when he gets his level up in like 20 seconds.
He has
So
everything he could want. Yeah.
he has huge advantage, and this is so big for Hades because they have the they have the Shen Stand United, and Para doesn't have the TP to follow.
Indeed. So this is now the time for the side of Hades to make a play, if ever. As you said, it's kind of
Right,
harder to execute
exactly.
their team comp when it comes to the team fights, right? So if they can take the opportunity to snowball, why not just take it for themselves right now?
Right. Yeah. They are I believe they are under pressure to get a lead just so that they are able to win these team fights majorly, right?
Hmm.
With a you know, because it needs to be a healthy advantage, right? If the fights are close and you're Hades, you're kind of if you're 50-50 in team fights, that's really bad just because your comp is not as flexible. And
Oh,
Leona, wow,
yeah.
that's a very nice
Good timing. Good
um,
timing. Meanwhile, here's bad
condemn
timing.
from the lane.
Ikaros, he's in a lot of trouble at the moment, but he comes to Stand United immediately. Shockwave as well to try keep him alive. Bull guy's here as well, so the gank ends up failing. Not even having to use the flash to have to get away from that. Ikaros ending up on top, but Stand United used to save mid laner, and unfortunately not able to make a play, but they should be able to at least get the dragon for themselves. Again, we have a Cloud Drake start, so an important Drake should be coming up very soon.
Yeah, and the thing is that yeah, they weren't able to make a play, but the Stand United preventing Zenigma from getting advantage is just as important, right? Because denying the kill onto Ikaros is just as important as getting a lead yourself. So very good play from Sir Her. Stand United, good map awareness, preventing a potential snowball. Because so far, things are pretty even across the board. We do see some
Mhm.
CS advantages in the favor of Zenigma, a little surprisingly, just because of you know top lane and mid lane, just because of how
Oh,
the
they're
lane
going
states
in.
work. But engage from Leona,
Yeah, they tried to go in. Only plays threes though. Might be in a bit of trouble. The feathers were
yeah,
dodged immediately. So that was all in all a decent trade for the side of OMTH in the bot lane, but we kinda expect that already. Glacial's a absolute monster and he knows exactly what to do. Para might be in a lot of trouble
wow,
again. Just the trading not
those
doing well for him at
empowered
all.
cues, they hurt, they
Yeah.
hurt, they hurt.
It's just horrible to deal with, but you know what? Guess what? Sir Hirsch, he's a bit overextended again. Might end up trying to go for a dive here. And Zach is here along with Zenfrost. I don't think he's gonna survive. You can't stand United yourself, buddy. Very unfortunate. Just gonna get
Man, that's
knocked
gonna be a
off and
kill.
taken
Oh,
down.
Zach.
Yep.
I wish they gave it to the Syndra.
Yep. Yeah, they probably should have given it to
Like
Syndra,
he
honestly.
wasn't going anywhere. He doesn't have flash. He doesn't have taunt. Just give the kill to the one who needs it. Fortunately, it didn't happen. So Zach is gonna take the kill. Um, yeah, yeah. But
If
then
there's one thing I can criticize Hirsch for this series, it's the fact that he keeps overextending again. Flash and Icarus is the
right.
one in a lot of trouble immediately. This time he has to flash out to try to get out of that situation. Surprised Leona didn't use the solar flare immediately. I think if he had stayed for just half a second longer, uh, Frost would have gotten the scattered weak on him as well, and I don't think Icarus would have survived the burst coming from everyone.
Yeah, I think you're right. He played Warwick, I believe, too. Right? That was first game.
Yeah, he did,
I
and he
believe that was Sir
overextended like
Hirsch.
a madman again and
Yeah,
again.
he was very overextended. He wasn't too punished by it, I think. Um, but I mean, it's definitely a bad habit. If you don't have flash, you don't have taunt, you're immobile.
And you don't see the
Don't have
enemy
your
jungler,
yeah,
probably the
and
best
you don't
idea
have
to
vision
back
down.
away.
You just can't. Like here he is again,
Oh
right? He
yeah,
has
here's
flash,
round two. They
but
know.
no vision. Oh, wait, oh, okay. If
Yeah,
everything misses,
they
wow,
tried
they're
to go for it
going.
again. Sir Hirsch, he has flash though, but they're trying to go for the dive. Here comes the ultimate from Soraka, just keeping him alive along with the flash. So good stuff all in all coming from both Soraka. It's these global ultimates, man, that just pay off for the team. at least at the moment.
Yeah,
Plates are going
I
down,
mean
but here comes Oriana
that
as
was the
well.
power of the wish.
They're
Very,
gonna
very
go
nice
on
wish.
and immediately burst it down Zach, and there's the double taunt immediately
Wow.
towards Zen Frost and Para, who just will get taken down in the end. Oriana and Vulgai will manage to get the kill,
Wow,
so
what a
that's
rotation though.
a
Absolutely incredible.
really solid rotation, yeah, as you said, coming from the side of Hades, but a very unfortunate overextension coming from the side of Zenigma.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking, if a team gets a minor lead, they're able to roll with it. This is Hades' minor lead, right? They were a little bit behind and they just got 3 kills. Jarvan is 2-0. Irelia is 1-0 with a Dark
Yeah.
Seal. So she has
Hmm.
two, she's stacking that up already. So Hades are in a prime position to take over this match.
Oh,
Cleanse
damage.
coming out from Vayne, very, very, standard stuff.
Yeah.
They have the first dragon. They are in a position to win this game. Just right off the bat, 4 kills to 2.
I mean, both teams have been consistent with the way they snowball, right? Which is the one thing I can compliment both teams on. Usually at these divisions, it's kind of a fiesta. Not gonna lie. When
Yeah.
as you said before, right? You're talking about it where if a game is close, it's because both teams are just throwing at each other again and again.
Right.
But
Yeah.
these
That's
two, they
yeah.
just these two guys, they know how to take a lead and run with it, which is really good to
Yeah.
see.
Absolutely. I think it's definitely a strong suit that both these teams have. And it's really nice that both of the teams have it, right? Because it
Mm,
leads to a lot more of an enjoyable game, I think, rather than both teams making mistakes and gold flowing back and forth. It's all about who can get that initial lead, and it's all about forcing the other team to play on the back foot where they're not as comfortable playing on, and when they're uncomfortable, they're just playing at that disadvantage.
yeah, exactly. And speaking of advantage, the next dragon is coming up. It's already up, in fact. It is going to be an Infernal Drake. So either mountain or ocean, but here comes the
Wow.
shockwave immediately. Zenfrost, he's in a lot of trouble. Has to use the burst to try and get Icaros, but he's gonna probably make it out of there alive. And Dragon Control seeded over to the side of Hades with that kill. Unless Zac goes for a steal. It's definitely possible. It is a Zac after all, but we have a 1v1 here in the top lane. Uh, Teleport is there for Para, but not going to be able to use it because Sir Hirsch is hounding him down, and the dragon does go over to the side of Hades.
Yeah, and that was a very, very great shockwave from Ikaros in the bush, catching Frost completely off guard, and that's just gonna be free. The second dragon over to
Wow.
Hades.
That's a lot of damage onto the Orin. He could probably dive that, honestly. The question is, will
He
he?
he is a little low. I'm not sure if he could.
I mean, it's been a constant for Hirsch to keep going for aggressive plays.
True, true, true.
Now it's the one time he doesn't do it. I'm sad.
It's it's risky.
Bro,
I like
okay, I
him
see.
not going
He
for it
warded.
just
He learned his
because
lesson. He learned his lesson, man. He learned his lesson, Wizard.
placing down the wards.
Before he makes an aggressive play. Let me check if there's anyone here first.
Definitely the way to go. Zach looking for play bot
You
sides.
can
We're
get
still
Hirsch
looking
one
top,
time.
but on the
Yeah.
mini map you can see Zach sitting in that tri bush.
They know.
Very
They should
patiently.
know, right? Okay. Are they on the fog of war? Should be. Ironically, he's in a lot of trouble. The Sulfur comes up, but the flash from Soraka just keeps him alive. Meanwhile, Vulgai coming in here. Scatter Weak used immediately, but Shockwave keeps Zenfrost back in the game. And
Look
well,
at that.
it's not going to be enough. Another gang towards the mid lane, and Zenfrost is feeling it at the moment. Feeling the pain that is because Jarvan just keeps set up a camp down there.
Yeah, I mean this Shockwave Jarvan combo, we've seen it twice, 3 times now. So
Times, yeah.
so powerful. Oh,
Yeah,
nah, Ikaros
Mephisto
is fine.
just trying to
Wait.
add a bit of pressure, but
Yeah.
honestly, this might not be it.
Oh,
He
he has
doesn't have
Flash.
really
Is
a
he in
way
trouble?
to escape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Flash is
Yep.
not yet there. Oh wow, and Mephisto just gave up another kill over to Hades, who are running away with the lead in the mid lane. This mid jungle 2v2 is working out in their favor time and time again.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the Oriana Jarvan combo in Select, and it's been proven that they like it. I mean, it's working really, really well. The Shockwave fall into the Jarvan CC, not quite comboed. Like in a team fight, you can put the ball onto Jarvan, and then when he engages, you ball after that. But the way they've been doing it, it works just as well, right? You start off with the shockwave and then you follow it up with the Jarvan. It's the same thing pretty much. It's just
Yeah.
less of a wombo combo. But it's working, right? You see 4 kills onto the Jarvan, 2 kills onto the Orianna, 6 stacks on that Dark Seal. She is big. And this Dark Seal could be the difference in the 1v1 between Orianna versus Syndra. And
Yeah.
having those 6 Dark Seal stacks adds up. It's a lot of AP. I think that's
Yeah,
4
and
plus
Soraka's the one in
15,
trouble this
so
time. But here
39.
comes the Stan United, just keeps him alive for long enough to be able to get something back. Ironically, just he keeps surviving. He keeps staying alive. Meanwhile, Zenfrost, he has to flash out immediately. Another one, and he's just gonna get taken down. Zach has to give up his passive right away. Sir Hirsch stuck under the tower though, as only plays. And Glacial though, the shutdown goes to the vein, not realizing that he was getting hit by the turret. And it's only plays trees. That's the one that's left. The top lane, the tower was taken, so that's first tower going over to the side of Zenigma. But on the side of Hades, they took everything else.
Yeah, I mean, if you're that Ornn, yes, you get first turret, but you have the TP available. You have the Call of the Forge God. You have a beautiful TP ward in the river. Why didn't you go to that play? Because now you're like you were behind before as Enigma, but now you're really behind, right? Now it's up to like a 4 or 5K gold lead just from this play alone. Like that's thousands of gold just shuffled into Hades' pocket. And when you have that TP available and your Shen is going across the map with Stand United, you kind of have to follow that play because you just let 4 of your team members die for first blood turret. Like that's not a worthwhile. And now with this dragon coming up in 30 seconds, your team's at a huge disadvantage because the enemy team, they just spent gold that they generated, and now you're playing on. So, and if they get this, it's Soul Point, right? Because they've gotten the first 2 dragons, and it's an Ocean Soul, which is huge for their team comp because of that sustain that they get.
Oh wait, here comes the teleport. What teleport's used right now? Sorry to interrupt. Vulgai trying to go in onto the enemy team. Icarus is here as well. The shockwave it's used and a double kill. Both carries just get deleted immediately by Icarus on this Orianna, and suddenly, well, or not so suddenly, it's gonna end up with Hades winning out on the team fight in the end. It's gonna only play She's is trying to get away, but he's not. It's gonna be Soul Point and the team fight victory for the side of Zenigma. What an excellent play coming from them.
Yeah, and just what I was saying coming to pass, right? They just spent all of that, I think 2K, 2.5K gold that they got from that bot lane turret plus the 4 kills. They are massive. And 10 Dark Seal stacks on Orianna, her shockwave destroys, right? It's not even close. You saw it basically one shot half the team, right? So we were talking about these teams snowballing. I think Hades are sufficiently into their snowball, right? 15 kills to 4. They have the CS advantage in every single lane, right? Literally all 5 lanes, they have a CS advantage, and they are just so ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one thing I do want to say about Hades though is even though it was a stomp on all 3 games so far, comparing the stomp of Zenigma and the stomp of Hades, Hades is a lot cleaner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I'd
saw
have
in
to
that
say
first game that is this fight gonna
there were several times.
it's not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
But
There were
we did
several
see that
times in the
Zenigma had a few questionable plays, as you just mentioned.
yeah.
And Hades, we haven't seen. I think the only thing that could be said maybe was Zenigma sneaking that Baron
Going
after the
on to
Dragon
Zach
play.
Frost, and here comes
But oh my god!
okay, he just decides to get out of there. Glacial probably will survive this one as well, but stun is not going to be enough.
United.
Here comes the Catalyst, and they're trapped there. They're going to get hit by the taunt as well, and in the end, it's just Hades winning again and again. Every time Zenigma tries to go for a play, they just end up falling flat right now. That is a lot of trouble as well. Here comes the shockwave, and there we go. Not even able to use the Feather Storm to make it out of there. V Cool Guy with the dive, getting hit by the turret, but it doesn't matter because it's Hades all the way in this game. 19-4 with a commanding gold lead at this point. This is their game to lose.
Yeah, definitely. And Oriana upgraded to the Magi Soul Stealer, 14 stacks. Jarvan, 2 items. He finished that Black Cleaver. He is shredding these tanks. No mercy. Um, and they're
Absolutely no
going
mercy.
for the Ornn. I honestly just go for the Baron. Like he's gone. You're not gonna catch him. Um,
Yeah,
I wish they just gone for the Baron instead, but it's not too big of a deal. They need to go back, spend their gold. Shen is sitting on 2,000 gold right now. A cool thing I wanted to mention was there's actually a pretty neat interaction between Vayne and Jarvan that I didn't mention before. Is that when
Vayne can
Jarvan
knock him.
cataclysms,
Yeah,
yeah,
Vayne
Vayne
can
can
just
condemn.
yeah, he
We
can do
saw it
it.
in that fight, right? Vayne can condemn an opponent into the Jarvan wall, stunning them, which is very, very. I mean, it's just a guaranteed stun, pretty much,
Yeah,
and that is so big because the Jarvan cataclysm does so much by itself, combined with the Orianna shockwave, combined with the Vayne, it is just brutal.
yeah, and it feels like Hades are flexing their muscles right now. Every single skirmish, every single team fight has pretty much just been a victory for them. It's gonna be 2 minutes, or rather 1 minute 30 seconds before the next dragon shows up, and that's gonna be Ocean Soul. And once they get that, it's gonna start to feel like they're a bit
Yeah.
unkillable, especially
I mean,
since
the fights are close enough, or I mean, they're not close enough, right? The opposite of close enough. They're so one sided already that imagine you add the Ocean Soul sustain to the mix. Then you
it's
have, a Soraka in combat getting healing mana, right? And then you also have, Oriana. You have the frontline Jarvan getting the sustain, the Shen. It's just too much to handle. And but I think it's biggest on the Soraka just because she has that health sustain, just to keep healing, right? And worth noting, very very minimal grievous wounds on the side of,
that's
on
true.
the blue side from Zenigma. You have, I guess you have 3 Bramble vests, but I mean, come on, like they have to auto you to get the effect. Like if you're autoing Syndra or Zaya, you're not being grievous wounds at all. And
Glacial might end up being in trouble here. Everyone trying to go for him, but here comes the shield bone to Stand United. Oh, the shield is just keeping him
look at that
alive.
shield!
Even if they try to go for him, he just stays alive again and again. You try to goose the Ornhorn. It's gonna be the big shockwave to end the fight. And well, there's just too much protection. This is how you play with a hyper carry
Yeah.
Vayne, my friends. Everyone
Yes.
working towards keeping Glacial
I
alive. He's
mean,
able to fall
is
back.
the
He's
main the
able.
hyper carry? She's 1-1.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's funny. I
Maybe
mean,
it's a Jarvan
she's
that's the
dealing
hyper
damage. I'm
carry.
just joking. She's dealing a lot of damage, but she's just not getting the kills. But look at this. Oriana 25 Magi stacks. Wow,
Yeah,
it's
that's
so huge. Jarvan 8 kills, Shen 7 kills. Stand United. Did you
Jarvan should
see
have
that
gone for a
shield?
Dark Shield.
That
Yeah, it was.
shield was larger than my life goals. Okay, I mean, wow. That was like 3/4 of the health bar. They get one of the Nexus turrets. They're just going straight for this dragon. It's theirs. Ocean Soul.
Or
Um,
might not be there since they used their turn to try and fall back.
you
We'll
know
have to
they.
see.
But look, Ornn's walking topside. Like they're not even. They're not. They're a little bit wishy washy. As I would say, Zenigma. They're sloppy. And by the time they get here, it's already going to be over. Unless Zach manages to make a play, he comes
Oh,
in.
here
Can he
we go.
smite
There's
steal?
possibility of steal. It's not going to be
Nope.
enough. Zach will get taken
Unlucky.
down as well immediately. And, well, retreat coming from Zenigma right now. Zenfrost tries to get the all in onto the Soraka, but it's not going to be enough. A double kill for Glacial. Zendef trying to run away as much as he can. Oh, Pharaoh was even
The
pulled
TP
out.
stop.
Oh, he's not going to win this 1v1 against the Vayne. There we go. Your prediction has come true. Nothing Ornn can do against this pick
Yeah.
at the moment. The ADC is dead as well. Leona is going to get taken down. They're just diving her under turret, and it will. That's over. The game's over. The series is over, and it's gonna be OMT Hades that's gonna end up winning Game 3, the series, and moving to a 3-2 scoreline in the standings.
And what a final game. I mean, this was just incredible. Um, I mean, 29-4. I mean, it doesn't get more snowbally than that. 25
Yeah,
Magi stacks,
we
complete
thought
stomp.
we thought it'd be even after 2 snowballs, but instead we got the biggest snowball of them all.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, you know, absolutely incredible performance. I just want to say I was not flaming the Vayne. You can look at the damage charts. Vayne has the highest damage in the game. I was just joking around saying she didn't get the last hits. Um, Vayne definitely putting in so much work against these tanks. Overall, Ikaros, those beautiful shockwaves. Ironically, those beautiful heals. Sir Hirsch, those beautiful stand united. It's just overall, what a great game.
It's
Only
amazing.
four deaths.
It's like a chef's kiss game, you know? Like
Yeah, exactly.
perfect stuff
A,
coming
a
from
perfect, a perfect final match just for us.
yeah, basically. So good stuff from Hades, and unfortunately for Zenigma, they are wait, I forgot now I forgot who was up in the standings. If I remember correctly, Hades is now 3-2, and Zenigma will go to a 1-4 scoreline in the
Yeah,
standings.
I believe that sounds right. Yeah.
All right, so our producer confirmed with us. Thank you, Wookie, for telling us. And yeah, it's very unfortunate for Zenigma. Unfortunately, not able to close the deal for your team, for the series rather. Even though they won game one, maybe they should have stuck to a comp more like that. But I guess whoever gets a Mumu wins the game, and it seems like it's just that Hades were better even without the Amumu. So that's a joke, by the way. I'm not saying Amumu was the sole reason for
Yeah. Yeah,
for the win.
definitely. Whoever gets that initial lead was able
It's
to
just a
run with
lead,
it
yeah.
for the duration of the game. Both these teams played very, very well in their respective games. GG's to all. Hades takes the crown.
Yeah, and we'll be back tomorrow for junior division, guys. So don't tune in. Tune in. I'll be casting there alongside Tiger. So make sure you guys watch because it should be a good match as well. But for now, from me, Wee Wizard and Wookie Monster, thank you so much for watching us here at Runeterra Academy. We appreciate everyone's support, and hopefully we will see you soon. But until then, good night, and we'll see you around.